Chapter 2149 Light Here. Chapter 2149 Light Here. Yemo shook his head to say that he hadn't heard of it. You actually never heard of Light Heart? Xing Hong looked at Yemo with disbelief. Please teach me. Yemo saluted with his fists. Xing Hong stared at Yemo for a long while before confirming that Yemo really didn't know about Light Heart. He explained, you can concoct Tao actualization God pills, meaning that you have a top-level heaven flame. Even if this flame wasn't at the peak of God flame, it's a God flame, right? That's right. Yemo said. Then you probably know what the highest level of flames are, right? Xing Hong asked again. Yemo nodded. I only know that in the immortal realm, once a flame reaches God flame, it would be the highest level, but according to my guess, God flame isn't the highest level. Xing Hong sighed and looked at Yemo, saying, I really don't dare believe you have such high pill concoction prowess. I'll tell you, usually God flame is already at the peak, but God flame indeed isn't the highest level of flame. The highest level of flame is called divine flame. Yemo thought this was indeed. Little Blue couldn't melt murdered Tao spear, and from that he knew that God flame wasn't the highest level. Xing Hong nodded. Even in the entire universe, there's only a few divine flames. The reason divine flames are so hard to get is because they are formed from a top-level God flame devouring Light Heart. As a prenatal material, Light Heart is very rare. Light Heart is prenatal material. Yemo was truly shocked this time. Xing Hong said heavily, that's right. Light Heart is formed in the light world of the universe. It's very rare, and even if there are any left, it's collected by powerful beings to feed their flame. The Light Heart is a prenatal material, but it can't be made into other magic artifacts. It can only allow a flame to reach divine flame. You're planning to give me a Light Heart? Yemo thought, if there really was a Light Heart, he could help this void marketplace merchant tower. Xing Hong smiled bitterly. Pill Divine, you looks too highly of us. We're wealthy, but we don't have the capability to give a Light Heart to Pill Divine. Yemo frowned. Then why even speak about this? However, we can provide Pill Divine with an extreme grade God spirit range and 2 billion God crystals to contend for the Light Heart. Xing Hong said. Hearing this, Yemo was extremely shocked. He had about 2 billion God crystals, and this was very wealthy to him, but they gave him this much so casually. Yemo knew that although he could earn 1 billion God crystals on the first day, but that didn't mean the second and third would be the same. Yemo immediately asked, there's Light Heart in the void marketplace? It's being auctioned? Xing Hong nodded. Yes, there are multiple merchant towers protecting it together. 10 days later, it will be sold with 9 other absurd materials. There would be countless powerful beings coming. Yemo sneered, let's not talk about whether I would be able to buy it, but even if I do you think I can protect it? Xing Hong's face dazed for a moment and said, of course not by yourself, but if you join the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower, then there would be no problem. We're not the strongest in the Void Marketplace, but no one dares to come start trouble with us. What if a primordial essence divine emperor came? Yemo said plainly. Xing Hong said assertively, primordial essence divine emperors have indeed come to the Void Marketplace before, but I'm certain there would be no way primordial essence divine emperor would come to this auction. Primordial essence divine emperor knows the heavens and earth. Even if the Void Marketplace is good, it can't attract such powerful beings. Plus, the Light Heart will be sold 10 days later. Even if Primordial Essence Divine Emperor gets news of it, they wouldn't have time to buy it. Thank you for your good, will immortal friend Xing. I'll think about it, but never mind about the Light Heart. I'm not interested in this. Yemo got up and saluted with his fists. Yemo hadn't seen the power of the Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, but he was certain that even just 15 minutes was enough for them to cross over from another realm, much less 10 days. Seeing Yemo's firm attitude, Xing Hong could only get up then. Have a good think, Pill Divine. You can come to me at any time. If Pill Divine, you don't like staying here, you can move into our hotels at any time. Okay. Yi Mo said and watched Xing Hong leave. He wanted the light heart, of course, but he knew that if he really bought it, he would never be able to leave the void marketplace merchant tower. Regardless if he could get the light heart or not, he would go try. He wasn't going to let others know he came to the auction. Yi Mo just asked at the auction door and knew about auction. There were 9 other things auctioned along with light heart, but Yi Mo hadn't even heard of any of them. The entrance ticket to the auction was 10 million god crystals, and a room costed 50 million god crystals. Yi Mo thought there was no way people would pay this much for an auction that only had 10 things, but just standing at the door for a while. Yi Mo saw nearly hundreds of tickets being sold. Yi Mo exclaimed, there were too many wealthy people in the void marketplace. Yi Mo had decided to enter the auction, but he didn't dare to buy tickets now. He squeezed into the crowd and then left the void marketplace. He had to be very careful about the auction this time. Otherwise, with his power, he would easily die. If there wasn't so many restrictions in the void marketplace, he even planned to set up a teleportation formation. After Yi Mo left the void marketplace, he started to change his looks and chi. Yi Mo made a magic artifact that changed his looks. It didn't take much effort. A day later, a dark-robed Tao Essence Divine Emperor entered the void marketplace. He walked around the void marketplace streets for a while before buying a room ticket at the auction. Yi Mo was so desperate as he knew there would only be 10,000 tickets being sold this time. Although there were many people buying the tickets, most people in the void marketplace didn't know about the auction. Otherwise, the tickets would be sold over in a day. Most people who came to buy tickets heard some inside story, like Yi Mo. After buying the ticket, Yi Mo secretly recovered his look and went back to his stall. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2150 Resolve Conflicts. Chapter 2150 Resolve Conflicts. Yi Mo, where have you been these few days? I've been looking for you for a few days. As soon as Yi Mo came back, Tang Xiaoyu came up and asked desperately. Yi Mo laughed. I went elsewhere to buy some materials. Pill Divine, Yi, you're finally back. I need to ask you to help concoct a cauldron of North Soul pills. Pill Divine, Yi. As soon as Yi Mo spoke with Tang Xiaoyu, quite some people squeezed up to Yi Mo's stall. These people were all waiting for Yi Mo to concoct pills. Yi Mo disappeared for an entire day. No wonder they were so worried. Yi Mo quickly stood out and said loudly, everyone, lately I've used up all my pill concoction materials, and due to concocting pills for a day and night, my sea of consciousness is a bit damaged. I need to go into solitary cultivation for a few days. Please come over a bit later. This was a right excuse. Solitary cultivation? I'm afraid you can't go into solitary cultivation now. An extremely cold voice sounded. This voice was so cold that instant second powerful force pushed people back. It's Wan Tong Tong, ranked 273 on the God rank. People immediately recognized this person. Next to her is God rank 121 Cieli. Pill Divine, Yi has trouble now. Hee, perhaps our opportunity has come. If Pill Divine, Yi speaks, we'll attack. Idiot! Do you think the people from the God rank are like ordinary Tao Actualization Divine Emperor? They can instantly kill 3 or 4 ordinary Tao Actualization Divine Emperors. Yi Mo looked at this woman. She was Tao Actualization Divine Emperor Peak Stage. She was extremely tall. The Tao Actualization Divine Emperor next to her had even stronger Tao waves than her. Yi Mo suddenly regretted. If he knew that Wan Tong Tong would come for his trouble at this time, he wouldn't need to have left the void marketplace. He would wait till she kicked him away and then come back to buy tickets. You're quite bold. Do you think that just because you're a pill divine you don't need to worry? Wan Tong Tong looked at Yi Mo in contempt. Yi Mo said casually, I've never seen your brother. His death has nothing to do with me. If you have to blame his death on me, then whatever. You're a pill divine, and I don't dare to attack you now indeed. If you have the balls, then accept my challenge. I formally challenge you now. Wan Tuntong said. Even if Wan Tuntong didn't attack him, Yi Mo planned to challenge her. He didn't understand why she attacked him. There was no way she didn't know he didn't kill her brother. She knew this, and she still challenged him who was a pill divine. What did this mean? In order to prevent others from disturbing our battle, if you're willing to accept the challenge, then we'll clash in the void. Hearing this, Yi Mo realized she wasn't here to get revenge for her brother. She was here for his wealth. A mere Tao actualization divine emperor dared to greed after his things. Yi Mo sneered inside. However, she was lucky as he wouldn't kill her. Just when Yi Mo was thinking about how to disappear from the void marketplace, a deal came up to him. If he was chased away by Wan Tuntong, then he could come back in a new outfit and by the light heart. Yi Mo didn't say much and said to Tang Xiaoyu, Go do your thing, I need to resolve conflicts with this Wan Tuntong. Tang Xiaoyu quickly said, Yi Mo, this has nothing to do with you. Why are you fighting her? In Tang Xiaoyu's eyes, there was no way Yi Mo was a match for Wan Tuntong. It was suicide. A sliver of joy flashed across Wan Tuntong's eyes, and she immediately said, Seeing as how you have some courage, if you can last more than 5 minutes with me, I can let you live. She turned to that man and said, Martial brother, hi, wait for me here for half a day. After I get my revenge, I will come back immediately. Then she sneered at Yi Mo, let's go. Yi Mo chased up without hesitation. After leaving the void marketplace, Wan Tuntong realized a top-grade flying god artifact. Yi Mo took out his space-time boat and followed her closely. Yi Mo followed her, but on the way he left clear marks. Wan Tuntong didn't notice this at all. When she saw Yi Mo's flying magic artifact, she rejoiced. It was just as Yi Mo guessed. She had already discussed with Cieli. After she killed Yi Mo, they would split Yi Mo's things. Half a day later, Wan Tuntong stopped and threw out a teleportation formation disc and said, Give me everything you have, I might not kill you. Yi Mo couldn't be bothered talking to her and realized Zissou. If he didn't need to let this woman spread news for him, he would have killed her in one strike. Crevice God art was only an ordinary god art amongst Yi Mo's arsenal, but Yi Mo attacked with full power. He wanted to see what the top 300 of the god rank was like. Wan Tuntong clearly didn't expect Yi Mo to say nothing and attack straight up. She released a 5-color full moon bracelet. The 5 colors shone and instantly formed a shield blocking Yi Mo's purple ray. Thud! The crevice purple ray landed on this shield and scattered rainbow colors. Wan Tuntong felt her sea of consciousness rumble. She was very shocked. It was just a simple clash to test each other, but Yi Mo's powerful god essence and spirit sense made her unable to believe it. She was someone of the god rank. Ordinary Tao actualization peak stage was nothing to her. To be able to shake her sea of consciousness, it meant that his power was stronger than ordinary Tao actualization divine emperor. No wonder he dared to come. He thought he was strong. No matter what, she was going to kill him. She threw out the formation disc, and in a blink, Xie Li appeared next to her. Martial brother Xie, this person isn't weak. He's slightly stronger than ordinary Tao actualization divine emperor. Wan Tuntong said. Xie Li sneered. No wonder you dare to come out alone. I heard this person earn nearly 1 billion god crystals in one day and piles of materials and god spirit herbs. I think he still has quite a lot of god pills on him now. Martial sister Tong Tong, let's finish the battle quickly. However, before he attacked Yi Mo, Yemo used transmission and disappeared. Let's chase, he won't be able to escape. Xiali sneered. It seems he's no ordinary Tao, nourishment, divine emperor. He broke free from our combined domain. Perhaps he has other secrets. Wait, why did he leave a trail of these magic artifact fragments after leaving and some broken armor? Wan Tuntong grabbed out a few magic artifact fragments from where Yi Mo disappeared. Haha, you two earned a huge sum just then. We came just in time. However, we can only see some magic artifact fragments. That's right, a mere Tao nourishment divine emperor is quite amazing to last a few seconds with you two. Before the two could leave, a huge laughter sounded and a few more people appeared around them. Xieli frowned. Bailey Hong, what do you mean? If it wasn't that Bailey Hong was also on the god rank, Xieli would have attacked already. This guy wasn't ranked much lower than him. There were 3 people who came. The leading man sneered. Let's cut the crap. Don't even tell me about Wan Tontong's revenge. We've been watching the Pill Divine Yi for an entire day. We don't need a lot of his materials and god crystals. Just split us 40%. Xia Li and Wan Tuntong finally realized why Yi Mo threw down those magic artifact fragments. They didn't even have time to be angry over how shameless Yi Mo was, as they were facing 3 Tao actualization divine emperors no weaker than them. There was no use in explaining now. No one would believe a Tao nourishment pill divine would be able to escape 2 god rank masters. Plus, there were this many marks left at the scene. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2151 Primordial Spirit Artifact. Chapter 2151 Primordial Spirit Artifact. EMO was already very far from the battlegrounds now. Even if the 2 weren't stopped, there was no way they would be able to chase up to him. If he didn't need the 2 to tell everyone he ran away, he would have killed them on the spot. After cultivating in the Golden Page world for a few days, he changed himself into a dark-robed Tao Essence Divine Emperor and entered the Void Marketplace again. Yi Mo didn't believe anyone would be able to recognize him. Even a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor would have to have seen him before to recognize him. He had turned into a cocky, dark-robed Tao Essence Divine Emperor. Most stealth cultivation methods suppress their power levels, but only Yi Mo could change his cultivation level to a higher one. As soon as Yi Mo entered the Void Marketplace, he knew that the news of the auction had leaked. The entrance was squeezed full with all sorts of divine emperors. They all came to seek one-door ticket. Many people knew that even if they got an auction, they wouldn't be able to buy anything, but they were still willing to go in and see things. Yi Mo rejoiced that he bought the tickets early. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to get in. If he knew this would happen, he should have bought large sums of tickets and resold him. But Yi Mo only just thought about it. He knew that if he wanted the light heart, he couldn't do this. The auction would open 2 hours later. Yi Mo walked around and came before his stall. Yi Mo found in shock that his stall was still there. There were still some divine emperors discussing. Yi Mo walked up. What a pity. Pill Divine, you was such a good Tao actualization Pill Divine, but was killed after concocting pills for 1 day. Yeah, that previous stall owner Wan Feijian had nothing to do with Pill Divine. That Wan Tongtong thinks she's from the god rank and thus could do anything. Well, she got what she deserved. So what if she killed Pill Divine? She's beaten into heavy injury. If she didn't have an astral transmission rune, she would have died already. Hearing this, Yi Mo realized that the traps he set behind were useful. Yi Mo was in a great mood now. Although he couldn't teach her a lesson personally, it was still good that the dogs bit each other. You said Pill Divine Yi was killed. An extremely serious voice sounded. Yi Mo became careful. This person was definitely a Tao Essence Divine Emperor Peak Stage. Just from his tone, he could tell that this person had killed too many. Yes, Pill Divine Yu was killed. Wan Tong Tong and Xia Li hunted him, and Pill Divine Yu was killed in the void by them. People on the side quickly said. The blue-faced Divine Emperor frowned and sneered. Where are those two? They were beaten into heavy injury and escaped with secret techniques. Where are the people who beat them? What are their names? It's Bailey Hong and, before the Divine Emperor, this blue-faced Tao Essence Divine Emperor already disappeared. Yi Emo looked at this person in confusion. He had never seen this guy before, but he seemed desperate to find him. The reason the stall was still here was probably due to the void, marketplace, merchant tower. They were hoping he wasn't killed and would come back. But even if Yi Emo was to come back using his original identity, that would be after he reached Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, or even Tao Essence Divine Emperor. When Yi Emo left from here and returned to the door of the auction, the grounds were already open. As a cocky and violent Tao Essence Divine Emperor, no one dared to come talk to him when he entered. Yi Emo had never seen a room that costed 50 million God crystals. He was certain that the organizers of this auction would at least make 100 billion. But Yi Emo knew this wasn't much. Just protecting the light heart would need multiple Tao Essence Divine Emperors to protect it. This costed money. After entering the room, Yi Emo felt it was only so-so. There were just some restrictions, but in terms of area and immortal fruits, it was worse than ordinary auction rooms. Yi Emo didn't care about this. The first thing he did coming in was to set up all sorts of restrictions. He wasn't going to let people scan their spirit sense in his room, no matter what. The auction was very big. In here, even ordinary seats had restrictions to protect them. No one spirit sense could scan in. Everyone who came could only see one place, and that was the center stage. After Yi Emo set up restrictions, he sat for 15 minutes, and a gray-robed old man appeared on the stage. Even through the restrictions, Yi Emo could tell this old man was a Tao Essence Divine Emperor. The old man saluted with his fists and said, "Immortal friends, every item sold here will be one that will shock a realm. I won't waste much time. The first item is called a Mortal Extermination Stick." Yi Emo didn't know what this was, but as soon as the old man said this, the entire lobby and all the rooms rustled about. The old man raised his hand and calmed people down before continuing. "I believe not many would know what this is. That's right, Immortal Extermination Stick is a primordial spirit artifact." Hearing this, Yi Emo took in a cold breath. This was something even Primordial Essence, Divine Emperor would fight over. This was something many levels higher than extreme, Grade God artifact. This wasn't something that could be forged. Who was dumb enough to sell it? The old man coughed. "Of course, although it's a primordial spirit artifact. It's broken due to some reasons. It's no longer considered a primordial spirit artifact." Hearing this, Yi Emo thought that was right. But even a broken primordial spirit artifact wasn't something ordinary extreme, Grade God artifact could compare with. The old man didn't continue talking. He opened the wooden box on the table and took out a black stick. Even though it was broken, the powerful force could still be felt. People's sea of consciousness was shaking when their spirit sense landed on the stick. There's no starting price. The highest bidder gets it. The bidding begins now. The old man said, "If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters." Chapter 2152 Insane Auction. Chapter 2152 Insane Auction. 200 million God crystals plus 2 middle grade God spirit range. Someone bid. Yi Emo wasn't interested in this stick, but hearing this first bid, his heart sunk. Clearly, the final price would be much higher than this, maybe even 10 times more. Thus, it was really questionable if he could take down the light heart. He had 2 billion God crystals and 2 extreme grade God spirit ranges. He had a few more top grade God spirit ranges. As for middle grade, Yemo didn't even bother calculating. Middle grade God spirit range definitely was enough to buy primordial spirit artifact. 500 million God crystals and a top grade God spirit range. Someone else bid. The price kept going up until the stick was bought with 1 billion God crystals and 1 top grade God spirit range. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor used the teleportation formation on the stage to send the stick to the bidder before taking out the second jade box. I believe no one would know the second item. It's a cosmic lotus. As soon as these 2 words came out, it caused even more ruckus. Even EMO was extremely shocked. Just what auction was this? He was thinking about cosmic lotus when he bought the 9-star bamboo. Now he really saw one. The cosmic lotus had 9 petals and a seed. The seed could be eaten alone to learn Tao essence, or if it was used in pill concoction with the petals, it could be concocted into the cosmic Tao pill. The Qian essence Tao fruit was also one to help people reach Tao essence, but everyone knew it was far from as valuable as the cosmic lotus. Yi Mo really wanted the cosmic lotus, but he knew his fortunes were limited. The auctioneer held his hands to quiet down everyone before continuing. The cosmic lotus is left here by someone to auction. We don't get to decide if the final price is high or low. He will sell the lotus to whoever gives him the thing he wants the most. I'll bid 800 million God crystals and 1 top grade God spirit range. Someone who could bid such price were pretty much all from the rooms. 1 billion God crystals and 1 top grade God spirit range and 1 Du Yuan Eye. Du Yuan Eye was something extremely good. It can be used to concoct God Eye pill. Even direct usage can clear up one's eyes. Just the second bid made the scene fall silent. Are there any other bids? The Tao Essence Divine Emperor knew this price was a bit awkward. 1 billion God crystals wasn't high, but that Du Yuan I stopped many people from bidding. Just when everyone thought this would be the price, a new bid appeared. 1 top grade God spirit range and 2 great primordial God rune Tao fruits. As soon as this price came out, it caused a huge ruckus. Cosmic lotus was a Tao fruit, and it was worth much more than ordinary Tao fruits, but the great primordial God rune Tao fruit was a powerful Tao fruit. It wasn't as good as the cosmic lotus, but 2 was bidded. The only drawback to this bid was no God crystals. Clearly Yi Mo bid this. Even the auctioneer was touched. He didn't understand why the bidder didn't auction these things. After a while, no one else bid again. The scene fell silent. Due to privacy measures, the seller and bidder's identities wouldn't be exposed. Everyone wondered if this person had more great primordial God rune Tao fruits. If he did, would he auction them? 15 seconds later, the Tao Essence Divine Emperor said the seller chose 1 billion God crystals, 1 top grade God spirit range, and 1 Du Yuan Eye. But he wants to ask if the immortal friends with great primordial God rune Tao fruit would exchange other things for the 2 great primordial God rune Tao fruits. Yi Mo couldn't even be bothered answering and just took back his bid. Seeing this, the Tao Essence Divine Emperor knew that Yi Mo didn't agree. After exchanging things, the auctioneer was ready to take out the 3rd item when a voice suddenly said, I'll use 200 million God crystals and a top grade God spirit range to exchange for 1 great primordial God rune fruit. Would a mortal friend agree? This was clearly against the rules of the auction, but the old man said nothing. To him, an extra deal meant extra 10% commission for the auction. No one answered. People realized that this owner of great primordial God rune fruit didn't lack God crystals. What a pity his great primordial God rune Tao fruit wasn't being auctioned. The Tao Essence old man took out another jade box and said the 3rd item is called Abstruse Light 1000 Dark Ship. It's an ancient, extreme, grade, flying god artifact. It's the most suitable for crossing the void. Yemo breathed easy. If it was another primordial spirit artifact, he would be speechless. The extreme, grade, flying god artifact wasn't worth as much as primordial spirit artifact, nor cosmic lotus to Yemo, but to other divine emperors it was the same. The price soared rapidly, making even Yemo think if he should get some top forgery materials to forge extreme, grade flying god artifact and sell them. Eventually, this ship was bought for 7 billion god crystals. Yemo realized by now that in those complete realms, it didn't seem very hard to get god crystals. The old man took out the fifth item and said, "Everyone, although this jade box is very small, it's actually a space jade box. There's a rune inside the jade box. It's left by an ancient, powerful being. You're right, this time we're selling this rune. It's called Great Primordial God Rune." Hearing this, the scene completely erupted. The Great Primordial God Rune was renowned as one of the most terrifying god arts in the void, as it could ignore space-time. At the very extreme, no matter what space or time law you used against the Great Primordial God Rune, it would be useless. It was extremely hard to cultivate the Great Primordial God Rune and much harder to reach great mastery. But everyone knew that if you reached great mastery, you would have this terrifying aura around you. Yemo breathed slowly. He didn't expect someone to be able to collect the Great Primordial God Rune and sell it. He knew how hard it was to collect the Great Primordial God Rune. After everyone calmed down, the old man explained for the first time, "I'll explain a little about this Great Primordial God Rune. Most people just know of its terror, but not its origin." Yemo also listened. "If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2153 Fight Over Light Here. Chapter 2153 Fight Over Light Here. When everyone calmed down, the old man said, "It's said that the Great Primordial God Rune is created by the human race, powerful being, Great Primordial Divine Emperor. He could use a total of 9 God runes. Each rune could cross endless void. No one had ever escaped from his God rune. Some people think that one could shoot out countless Great Primordial God runes. That's wrong. The Great Primordial God Rune is different to other god arts. It's a god art that can only be inherited. After Great Primordial Divine Emperor died, he left his 9 Great Primordial God Rune Tao waves. If you saw the 9 god runes and learned it, then it's yours. If you only saw 1 god rune and learned it, then you can only use 1 Great Primordial God Rune. You wouldn't be able to learn the 2nd rune yourself just because you're talented. If you want to use the 2nd rune, you would have to find Great Primordial Divine Emperor or find the mark of the 2nd rune left behind by his descendants. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor felt the jade box and continued. Usually, the people who mastered Great Primordial God Rune would mark down his Great Primordial God Rune before dying. No matter after how many passings, the total number of Great Primordial God Rune is 9. It can only decrease, not increase. Hearing this, Yemo frowned. This was completely wrong. He saw 2 Great Primordial God Runes, and it wasn't left behind by Great Primordial Divine Emperor. But now his 3rd Great Primordial God Rune was about to form. In some time, Yemo would be able to use 3 Great Primordial God Runes. Going like this, in time there would be even 90 Great Primordial God Runes. This old man sighed. Even an ancient powerful being like Great Primordial Divine Emperor would die to the hands of others. So, god art is just a mean, not the end result. Okay, back on topic. I have 1 Great Primordial God Rune here. It's left behind by the Great Primordial Divine Emperor. Almost everyone guessed that the person with the Great Primordial God Rune Tao fruits would try to buy the Great Primordial God Rune at all costs. Those who wanted to buy the Great Primordial God Rune too was also thinking about how to buy the great primordial god rune Dao fruits after buying the great primordial god rune. Yi Mo didn't even want to buy the great primordial god rune. Yi Mo knew that the old man clearly told the truth, but his three-birth chant was so insane that it broke the law of the great primordial god rune. He can give rise to new great primordial god runes, 1 billion god crystals, and 1 top-grade god spirit range. The first bidder said, 5 billion god crystals, and 1 top-grade god spirit range. 2 billion god crystals. In less than 5 minutes, the price has risen to 4 billion god crystals, and 1 top-grade god spirit range. Yi Mo looked at the soaring price and didn't even care. He knew that even if the great primordial god rune was bought, people might not be able to learn it. Gongyang was an example. There were all those talented divine emperors in the god necropolis domain, but the 2 great primordial god runes still stayed in there for countless years. Yi Mo knew that if he didn't cultivate the three-birth chant, it would be almost impossible for him to learn the great primordial god rune, much less derive more great primordial god runes. After another 15 minutes, the price set at 3 billion god crystals and 1 top-grade god spirit range. Yi Mo knew that this price was too high. It was at most worth 300 million top-grade god crystals. The reason it was brought up to this price was because many people thought the great primordial god rune would turn into their god art after buying it. Yi Mo suspected that the seller sold the great primordial god rune probably because he couldn't learn it and thus had no choice but to sell it. The auctioneer knew this, but he didn't say it clearly. He said god art was just a mean, and that was his hint. If the great primordial god rune could immediately turn into your god art after buying it, then even 34 billion wouldn't be expensive. No immortal friends are bidding. Then the great primordial god rune will be sold to you for 3 billion and 1 top-grade god spirit range. The old man said. Many people suspected that this bidder was Yi Mo, who took out the great primordial god rune Dao fruit. When the scene calmed down, the Dao Essence old man took out the next jade box. Yi Mo's spirit sense had been watching this old man. Although this old man said nothing, Yi Mo's heart shook. He knew it was light heart. Even though it was bound by the restrictions in the box, that ancient fire Dao wave of the light heart could still be sensed by Yi Mo. Yi Mo thought it would be taken out last, but it came out halfway. The old man raised the jade box and said seriously, this is a true primordial spirit artifact called Light Heart. As soon as the old man said this, the scene had this murderous chi. Clearly, not just a few people came for the Light Heart. Yi Mo could even feel this killing chi inside his room. Light Heart is also being placed here by a customer for auction. So your prices will be determined by the owner. I will now open the box and show everyone the Light Heart. As soon as the Dao Essence opened the box, an extremely intense light shot out. There were slivers of Dao waves in the light. Primordial material was terrifying indeed. This was Yi Mo's first time seeing primordial material. Little Blue immediately became restless and kept sending Yi Mo messages that he wanted the Light Heart. If Yi Mo didn't restrain him, he would have went out to take it. Yi Mo calmed Little Blue down and had decided to get the Light Heart no matter what. As soon as he got it, he would leave the void marketplace. Although the latter items would be even better, it was too dangerous to stay. Everyone start bidding. The Dao Essence old man said, 2 billion god crystals and 1 top-grade god spirit range. The first bidder said. Yi Mo frowned. He only had 2 billion god crystals in total. By the looks of this, even if he accepts Xing Hong's help, he wouldn't be able to buy the Light Heart. 5 billion plus 2 top-grade god spirit range. The second bidder sounded. 1 billion plus 1 extreme grade god spirit range. 2 billion plus 1 extreme grade god spirit range. The price soared like crazy. Yi Mo knew that if this continued, he wouldn't be able to buy it even at his max price. 1 billion God crystals, 1 extreme grade God spirit range, and 1 yellow middle plum Dao fruit. When this bid appeared, the scene fell silent again. What was yellow middle plum? It was one of the 10 great spirit items. The value of just 1 yellow middle plum Dao fruit was no lower than light heart. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2155, Thinking of a Way to Leave. Chapter 2155, Thinking of a Way to Leave. He was planning to leave the Void Marketplace as soon as he got the light heart. He could use teleportation formation disc to leave at the city gates. He had already set things up. Then he would keep using instant transmission and eventually fly away with his extreme grade flying magic artifact. Even the most powerful Dao Essence, Divine Emperor, wouldn't be able to stop him. It was because of this that Yi Mo dared to participate this auction, but now things didn't seem to go as he expected. Xing Hong said that there was no way there would be Primordial Essence Divine Emperor here, but how did this Primordial Essence Divine Emperor come? Even if he didn't reach Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, he was still a half Primordial Essence. Yi Mo didn't think he could get away from such person. He might not even be able to leave the Void Marketplace. Yi Mo didn't put his 2 yellow middle plum on the teleportation formation. He was thinking about how to leave the Void Marketplace. Just when the Dao Essence old man didn't know what to do, there was another sneer: do according to the rules before. Let the bidder teleport his things to the auction and let everyone see. Hearing this cold sneer, Yi Mo knew it was the seller. This person was another half Primordial Essence or Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. It was definitely this person who asked him to teleport the yellow middle plum to another place. Since he was the seller, why did he rebuke his rules? Did he want to annihilate him and take his 2 yellow middle plum? Wait. Yi Mo instantly realized what went wrong. His face looked extremely bad. His mind was completely occupied by the light heart that he didn't think about the yellow middle plum was just picked. Just looking at the time marks on it, a Divine Emperor would be able to recognize it easily. If people saw that his yellow middle plum was just picked, it meant that he had yellow middle plum tree. This meant that he had 5-element world or even chaos world. Thinking about how he bid 2 great primordial god rune Dao fruits, the auction organizers were almost certain he had 5-element world. Yi Mo's heart sunk. He grew calmer and calmer. He knew that at this time, the slightest mistake would cause him to be gone. Although he knew they would find out, Yi Mo still took out 2 yellow middle plums and 1 billion god crystals and teleported it to the stage. He didn't care about the light heart anymore. He just kept throwing out formation flags. Yi Mo was going to set up a powerful formation flag. He used all his top formation flags. Now wasn't a time to save materials. Other than this, he was going to completely separate this space using formation from the formation of the auction grounds. At this moment, Yi Mo's yellow middle plums were teleported to the stage. Almost everyone was looking at the 2 plums. There were exclamations of shock. After seeing it, everyone knew that they were looking at the real yellow middle plum. 5 minutes later, Yi Mo stopped setting up formation and said in an icy voice, "The yellow middle plum has been verified for 5 minutes. I believe everyone know if it's real or fake. Why hasn't the auctioneer given me the light heart?" The old man seemed to have just reacted and said awkwardly, "Your immortal friends, due to the yellow middle plum, I forgot about it." Then he didn't pretend anymore and teleported the light heart to him. The instant it arrived, Yi Mo sent it into his golden page world immediately. He knew that the light heart was real. What he needed to do now was think about how to leave the auction. The yellow middle plum was taken, and many people knew that this divine emperor not only had the yellow middle plum, but also the yellow middle plum tree, and even a 5-element world. At this moment, the 2 yellow middle plum appeared before the skinny old man. The old man looked at one, and his eyes shot out hot beams. He didn't know how many years it had been since he had such intense excitement. He placed down the yellow middle plum and said, "This person indeed has the 5-element world and yellow middle plum tree. Grand Divine Emperor, this thing has spilled out. I believe in just a few days, the void marketplace would be the world of primordial essence divine emperors." One Tao essence divine emperor said worriedly. The skinny old man thought for a long while before saying, "If it wasn't that Luo Juanxia old bastard, we can attack now, but now we need to settle him first. Send someone to invite him over. Tell him I, Peng Yuan, have important business with him. I believe he will understand." Yes, this Tao essence divine emperor immediately left. Yi Mo was still in the room and didn't leave. He barricaded all qi from his room and actually took out a pill cauldron and began pill concoction. In just 15 minutes, 6 black pills were made. Unlike other pills, these pills had no good aroma. It only had violent qi. This was created by him. Tao restriction pill. It could burn his god essence and allow his cultivation level to rise a few levels. However, this pill had very potent side effects. Yi Mo only dared to use it as he had the chaos tree. Yi Mo immediately ate a Tao restriction pill. Powerful Tao waves flowed. Yi Mo even felt that if he wanted, he could palm all the divine emperors in the auction to powder. But Yi Mo knew this was an illusion. His power definitely increased, but not as much as he thought. Yi Mo didn't use the pill to increase his power and charge out. Even if he took another pill, that would be suicide. He immediately took out the golden arrow of divine exterminations and shot out 7. He had refined 6 of them to 99th level of restriction and 1 to the 100th level. However, forcing it to not shoot far and tear the void in a certain range still made Yi Mo receive strong backlash. After shooting out 7 arrows and spitting mouthfuls of essence blood, a ripple appeared before his space. Yi Mo was shocked at the sturdiness of the void here. He waved out 1 region god art, and the moment it formed, he released Murder Tao Spear and burned his god essence and essence blood like crazy as he smashed out multiple spears. The ripple made a small crack under the terrifying lethal force of the murdered Tao Spear. A small crack in the void appeared. Yi Mo grabbed his bone arrows and formation flags without hesitation and went into the Golden Page world. Then he controlled the Golden Page world to fly into the void crack. After Yi Mo went inside the Golden Page world, he breathed easy. If he wasn't a formation expert, then even if he was a Tao Essence Divine Emperor and had the Tao Restriction Pill, he wouldn't be able to tear open the void there. The void here was so sturdy that Yi Mo felt only Primordial Essence Divine Emperor could tear it open. The void here was not only sturdy, but also locked by formation and restriction. Such terrifying killing intent. The skinny old man frowned when Yi Mo took out the murder Tao Spear. He suddenly got up. Luo Junxia is here. Let him sit for a while. I'll go check 79th room. In just a few seconds, he was in Yi Mo's room. Yi Mo's restrictions were easily wiped away by him. Tearing open the void, the skinny old man's face was green. Even I can't tear open the void here, and yet a Tao Essence Divine Emperor tore open the void here. What monster is he? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2156 Blue, like Morning Sky Evolution. Chapter 2156 Blue, like Morning Sky Evolution. Sister Bingyu, I'm already abstruse, immortal, peak stage. There's such a good immortal marrow pond, but that Mu Wushuang didn't take it away. He's really a good person. Sister Bingyu, why don't you cultivate anymore? Zhan Bingyu smiled because I'm an immortal king peak stage. If I don't reach immortal spirit herb, cultivating would just condense my immortal essence. With my talent, it would be a bit hard to reach immortal monarch without monarch will pill. Yimo, you're AI peak stage now. Let's leave and wait till you reach great unity, immortal first. But Sister Bingyu, I don't have great unity pill. Yimo looked at the immortal marrow pond unwillingly. This place was countless times better than using immortal crystals. Zhan Bingyu smiled. Don't worry, let's go. Don't worry about great unity pill. Zhan Bingyu's great unity pills were given to her by Yi Mo. She didn't expect that Yimo would be able to use them to have divine damnation here. Yimo looked at the immortal marrow pond. Definitely not. Although there aren't many people on this level, there are still people. Once the divine damnation draws people's attention, it would be hard for us to come back here and cultivate. Zhan Bingyu quickly said. The two left the immortal marrow pond. Zbayu was planning to take Yimo to find an open space for divine damnation, but after just going for a few hours, rumbles of lightning caught Zhan Bingyu's attention. Then Yimo saw the lightning too. Sister Bingyu, is someone having divine damnation? Zhan Bingyu nodded. Yes, it's also Immortal King, divine damnation. Someone is breaking through to Immortal King. Have a look. It would help you reaching great unity immortal. Yimo followed Zhan Bingyu and came up to the divine damnation grounds. Before Zhan Bingyu finished talking, Yimo called out in surprise and joy. Zhan Bingyu recognized that was Su Jingwen having the divine damnation. Protecting her was Tang Beiwei. They looked for these two before, but weren't able to find them, but now they met through this divine damnation. You're Yimo! Tang Beiwei was watching outside nervously and immediately noticed Zhan Bingyu and Yimo. Tang Beiwei and Yimo immediately charged up to each other and embraced. Yimo, you not only ascended, but are also abstruse immortal peak stage. This is so great! Tang Beiwei knew how much her brother liked Yimo. Seeing Yimo safe, she was extremely happy. Rumble! A few lightning arcs came struck down, interrupting them. Tang Beiwei just woke up and quickly said, Yimo, brother would be very happy to know you're here. Sister Jingwen is having her immortal king, divine damnation. After she finishes, we'll talk. Yimo nodded and grabbed Zhan Bingyu's hand, saying, Sister Bingyu, this is my Auntie Tang Beiwei. The one having divine damnation is my Auntie Jingwen. Zhan Bingyu smiled. I know Sister Beiwei. Sister Bingyu, thank you for helping Yimo. Tang Beiwei greeted Zhan Bingyu. Then they all focused on watching Su Jingwen's immortal king, divine damnation. Su Jingwen's talent was extremely amazing. With Yi Mo's cultivation resources, her progress speed was unimaginable. The immortal king, divine damnation, was nothing to her. Another 2 hours passed. Su Jingwen had finished her divine damnation and started consolidating her power. Seeing this, the other three felt assured and started to talk. Yimo, your dad is so worried about you, but now I can finally feel assured. Su Jingwen came up to them quickly. Soon, the four had chatted for more than 2 hours. Su Jingwen just remembered, Sister Bingyu, you're about to have your divine damnation too, right? After you reach immortal spirit herb, we don't need to worry in the chaos star realm. Zhan Bingyu didn't think that much and smiled in self-mockery. After handing Yimo to you guys, I will be going to the Grand Heaven Domain to find chance to break through immortal spirit herb. Su Jingwen suddenly thought of something and took out a storage ring to Zhan Bingyu. Sister Bingyu, your cultivation things are here. Zhan Bingyu took it in confusion, mine. Just have a look and you'll know. Su Jingwen smiled. Zhan Bingyu's spirit sense scanned inside and her hands shook, almost dropping the storage ring. Monarch will pill. Great Void Meridian pill. Tai Wei Emperor Return pill, immortal crystals, and extreme grade immortal range. With all these things, She didn't need to go find cultivation resources at all. But Zhan Bingyu, really wanted to say that her liking Yemo had nothing to do with these things. Although Zhan Bingyu grew up in the immortal realm and seemed older than Su Jingwen, but in terms of emotions, Tenjin Bingius couldn't match with Su Jingwen. Now that Zhan Bingyu couldn't speak, Su Jingwen knew what she meant and came up grabbing her hand. Sister Bingyu, if he didn't have you in his heart, he wouldn't leave behind these things. Don't worry, I didn't make the decision. Great. Sister Bingyu have divine damnation first. I'll have it last. Yemo said happily. Yemo was injured greatly when tearing open the void. The moment he laid in the golden page world, he breathed easy. He was certain that if the two guys in the auction weren't primordial essence divine emperor and only halfway primordial essence, they wouldn't be able to tear open the space. Even if a primordial essence divine emperor tore open the void, he might not appear in the same realm as him. Even if one tore open the void at the exact same place and appeared in the same realm, the final destination might be millions of km away. The reason he could tear open the void at the auction was mainly due to the murdered Dao spear. Without the murdered Dao spear, even if he used the 7 golden arrow of divine extermination, he wouldn't be able to tear open the void. Yemo didn't even know if it was good to melt the murdered Dao spear anymore. Yemo laid in the golden page world and slowly recovered his injuries. The golden page world seemed very calm now. Even Shadowless was cultivating much less other people. A few days later, Yemo injuries were completely recovered. He felt he was fine. Thus, Yemo sent his spirit sense carefully out of the golden page world. What appeared in his sea of consciousness was completely darkness. This was different to ordinary void. He had never seen this type of void before. He had been through all sorts of voids, but usually there were many illuminating objects in the void, and thus he could see some light. It was his first time seeing complete darkness in here. The first thing Yemo took out now was the light heart. Yemo collected his feelings, and just when he was about to open it, he felt a spirit sense mark. This was made on the surface of the box. Yemo sneered, but didn't destroy the restriction. He just opened the jade box. The vibrant rays of the light heart shot out, forming heat waves. Blue like morning skies, fire spirit, Little Blue, immediately jumped around in a craze. Yemo released Little Blue without hesitation. Little Blue was like a thirsty person in the desert. It charged at the light heart and instantly swept around the light heart. Extremely terrifying, heat waves spread. Rays of vibrant blue spread in this extreme heat, like crazy. As time flew, the blue color and temperature that spread out were slowly collected back by Little Blue. The surface temperature of Little Blue grew lower and lower, and the blue color became more receded until a blue flower floated in front of Yemo. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2157, Melt Murder Dao Spear. Chapter 2157, Melt Murder Dao Spear. Boss, I've reached divine flame. Give me that shitty spear. I'll melt it immediately. Little Blue's excited voice sounded. Okay. Yemo immediately threw the murdered Dao spear to Little Blue. Yemo knew the murdered Dao spear was very powerful. He was certain that if he spirit controlled a few more levels of restriction, it would be very useful even against Dao Essence Divine Emperor. However, he was worried about the spear. However, when he threw the murdered Dao spear to Little Blue, the murdered Dao spear was no longer tame like before. A terrifying and powerful murderous intent erupted that instantly broke free from Little Blue's bindings and disappeared into the heavens. Yemo was very shocked. Little Blue was a divine flame now, and yet the murdered Dao spear could still break free. He gave the murdered Tao spear to Little Blue to burn for nearly a year and removed some impure chi, but it didn't affect the murdered Tao spear at all. Didn't that mean the reason the murdered Tao spear was burned was because it was willing? Now that blue like morning sky reached divine flame and murder, Tao spear knew danger. That's why it fled. Boss, there's a spear spirit inside the spear. I didn't notice it, and it got away. Let me catch it. Little Blue felt very embarrassed. Yi Emo waved his hand, no need. Yi Emo grabbed in the void, and the missing murdered Tao spear appeared in his hand again, in his golden page world. Even if the murdered Tao spear was 10 times stronger, he wouldn't be able to get away. The murdered Tao spear jumped around uneasily in Yemo's hands. Yemo's spirit sense didn't notice spear spirit, but the restlessness and murderous intent was seeping out. Really amazing. I've spirit controlled the first level of restriction, and yet I didn't know there's a spear spirit hiding in here. Yemo sneered. Clearly, the spear spirit had no good intentions hiding there. If it had good intentions, it would recognize him as master, and he would know the existence of the spear spirit. No wonder he always felt uneasy about the murdered Tao spear. But then Yi Emo immediately noticed something was wrong. If the spear spirit was really that powerful, then it should know about him buying the light heart. It should know that if he got the light heart, Little Blue would reach divine flame and it would be melted. The murdered Tao spear shouldn't have helped him escape. Little Blue, never mind. Just melt the spear first. Yi Emo didn't know what was inside the spear, and let Little Blue try again. The blue like morning sky swept around the murder Tao spear this time, and it couldn't escape. Under 2 layers of binding from Yi Emo and Little Blue, there was no way it could escape. The divine flame carried piercing blue flames, and the impure chi on the surface was immediately melted. There was a cracking sound, and this extremely violent killing intent ravaged in the flames, as though it would break free from blue, like morning sky, and Yi Emo, and charge out of the golden page world. Knowing this, Yemo and blue, like morning sky, worked together to suppress this killing intent. Those killing intent and killing chi eventually formed Tao waves. Each one of these Tao waves were extremely strong. It was as though any one of them could easily kill a Tao essence divine emperor. Boss, I understand now. It's not a spear spirit, it's murder Tao. Little Blue's voice sounded. Yi Emo asked in confusion, what is murder Tao? This spear is definitely a primordial spirit artifact, and an extremely powerful one amongst primordial spirit artifact. It was born to kill divine emperors. Countless divine emperors have died to this spear, and the impure chi on it are the Tao waves of all the dead divine emperors. This spear would eventually slay its master. Countless masters have been slayed by it. Each time it kills a divine emperor, it would suck their essence blood and Tao waves. These essence blood and Tao waves formed murdered Tao in the spear. Yi Emo didn't doubt at all that a lot of masters of the spear had been slayed. Which Tao vindication powerful being weren't extremely talented and confident in themselves? How could they believe that they would be slayed by a spear? Even Yi Emo wouldn't believe he would be killed by a spear he spirit controlled. But Yi Emo trusted his instincts extremely high ever since he cultivated the 3-birth chant. The murdered Tao spear gave him a bad feeling, and that's why he was so adamant on destroying it. Otherwise, with how the murdered Tao spear helped him twice, there was no way Yi Emo would melt it. It has extremely terrifying restriction, and if it is to be fused into Zisu's power would be no weaker than murdered Tao spear. However, we must refine the murder Tao inside the spear and destroy it. This would take many years. Little Blue said. Yi Emo fell silent for a while. The restrictions of the spear are primordial restrictions. Zisu restrictions can be changed with upgrades. Just refine out the murder Tao in the spear, and I'll seal it. Then you help me upgrade Zisu. Yi Emo knew that even as a divine flame, it wouldn't be easy for Little Blue to melt the murdered Tao spear completely. So when Little Blue began work, Yimo left the Golden Page world and released Space-Time Boat. He tried to get out of this dark void as quickly as possible. The void here was pitch black and could block spirit sense. Yimo's spirit sense could only stretch out tens of thousands of kilometers, but this was enough for Yimo. He chose a direction and charged forward with full speed. With this void marketplace marker, Yimo didn't believe he would get lost in the void. There were too many races in the void and too many realms. If he found any realm, he would be able to ask about the void marketplace. The idea sounded good, but even with his space-time boat speed, he had been flying in the void for years and still had no clue. Just when Yimo felt he should change a direction, he sensed Little Blue's calling. Yimo immediately knew that the murdered Tao spear was melted, and he put away the space-time boat and came back into the Golden Page world. In the Golden Page world, a purple liquid emitting Tao waves floating in the blue like morning sky. There was also a gray layer on it. Other than that, there was also a red chi floating on the other side of the blue like morning sky. Yimo knew that red chi was the murdered Tao inside murdered Tao spear. The purple Tao wave liquid was definitely the melted primordial material. Yimo took out a jade box and sent the red chi inside before putting on restrictions. After this, Yimo threw Zisu into blue like morning sky and used his spirit sense to help blue like morning sky refine Zisu. Yimo was a powerful forgery grandmaster, and with Little Blue's help now, Zisu didn't have much trouble getting upgraded. When Yimo's spirit sense fell on the purple Tao wave liquid, all sorts of information filled over almost twisting Yimo's sea of consciousness. There were cultivation chi, god art chi, void space chi. Little Blue, what is this? How is it still not burned out? Yimo asked. If these messy chi was fused into Zisu, it would be the worst. Little Blue quickly said, I've already refined out the chaotic chi. They're just sticking to the surface of this purple material. It's probably information left behind by divine emperors killed by the murdered Tao spear. I was afraid it would be useful to you, so I kept it. Yimo quickly said, Separate them immediately. No matter how useful it is, it can't be fused into Zisu. Hearing this, Little Blue immediately swept away the gray chi on the purple liquid. Without the gray layer, the purple liquid shined even brighter. Yimo sealed the gray chi with jade box and then helped Little Blue fuse the purple liquid into Zisu. Even if a primordial spirit artifact was melted into primordial material, the restrictions on it were still primordial restrictions. Little Blue intentionally didn't break it, so the restrictions were still there. Zisu was visibly getting stronger. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2158 Powerful Result. Chapter 2158 Powerful Result. A few days later, when those purple liquid completely fused into Zisu, Zisu became ordinary looking. It seemed like an extremely ordinary purple sword floating in a blue flame, but its aura didn't disappear. It still circulated around Zisu. At this moment, Yimo couldn't help it all, and even Little Blue was pushed away. The aura around Zisu kept changing, and even Yimo couldn't tell what was going on. Another few hours later, Zisu suddenly made a crisp sound, and the aura completely disappeared. It truly became an ordinary purple sword. Yimo looked dazedly at this purple sword, completely not expecting Zisu that fused with murdered Tao spear would look this ordinary. It had no killing chi, no blade ray. Yimo grabbed this sword into his hand, and this extremely familiar yet strange feeling came up his heart. As a forgery divine, he couldn't even tell what level this sword was. This wasn't an extreme grade god artifact, nor a primordial spirit artifact. Yimo suddenly had this realization. Murdered Tao Spear was a primordial material that grew into the Murdered Tao Spear. It had all the primordial and royal qi. However, he used divine flame to melt the spear and fuse it into Zisu. This was like his cultivation method. Whether it was 3-birth chants, sever Tao, and then vindicate Tao, or body refinement cultivations nirvana, it was the same logic. It severed all the sharp qi and became something that truly fused the Tao waves of the world. It didn't have the sharp qi, but it contained its power inside. Yi Mo learned that his Tao was contained in this too. If one day he reached primordial essence, his qi would return to ordinary, just like a mortal. Yi Mo's mind flashed across all the divine emperors or immortal emperors he had seen. Even if some of their qi was collected, no one could completely reach the level of an ordinary person. Suddenly his heart was shook. He thought of someone. It was that fortune teller he saw in the small world, Master Tianze. He suspected he saw that old man on Luoyu continent, but he didn't think of that much at the time. Now that he learned this sliver of Tao wave, he immediately thought of that old Taoist. Tianze had such qi, that extremely ordinary qi that seemed to have fused into everything. Realizing this, Yi Mo was shocked. If Tianze was really as he thought, could he accidentally leave behind the 5-element stool? After a long while, Yi Mo shook his head. He couldn't think through this and didn't want to keep thinking about it. He subconsciously started to spirit control Zisu. This was the first time that he needed to spirit control Zisu again after upgrading it. When Yi Mo's spirit sense seeped into Zisu, he found that Zisu's restriction wasn't like Murdered Tao Spear's restrictions. It became 9 completely new restrictions. When Yi Mo started on the first level, he found there were 9 chained restrictions inside. From this, it was clear that the second level of restriction had 18 chained restrictions. At this rate, the 9th level had 81 chained restrictions. Yi Mo knew now that Zisu was probably a level higher than the Murdered Tao Spear. Wasn't that beyond primordial spirit artifact then? Wait, beyond primordial spirit artifact is divine artifact. That is a chaos treasure. Even if Zisu is a bit stronger than Murdered Tao Spear, it can't be divine treasure. Divine treasure is born of chaos, but he upgraded Zisu. Yi Mo didn't think about Zisu's level anymore. He found that Zisu didn't disappoint him. Zisu was his magic artifact and upgraded by him, so it was much easier to spirit control than the Murdered Tao Spear. Restrictions were spirit controlled, and Yi Mo immersed into this. 10 years later, Yi Mo suddenly got up. He found that he only used 10 years to completely spirit control Zisu. He had finished all 9 levels of restrictions. Until now, Yi Mo finally realized Zisu's power. He was certain that if he fought with Tao Essence Divine Emperor again, even if he just used Zisu, he would be no weaker than them. If he was in that auction room again, Yi Mo was confident he could hack open the space there. This was confidence brought to him by Zisu. From now on, he finally had a good offensive magic artifact. He didn't need to use Zisu that was lesser than a low-grade god artifact to fight with other people's top-grade god artifact. Yi Mo waved his hand and Zisu appeared in his dantian. Zisu no longer needed to be put in storage ring or golden page world. As long as it was nourished in his god essence, it would keep improving. Yi Mo was feeling great. He grabbed that red murdered Tao Qi. As soon as Yi Mo's spirit sense touched it, he felt this terrifying, violent killing intent. Although he learned a sliver of Tao wave from Zisu's upgrade, his real cultivation level was still just a Tao nourishment divine emperor. That terrifying murder, Tao Qi, almost twisted Yi Mo's sea of consciousness. Yi Mo had never seen such terrifying murder Tao Qi. Little Blue was right. Murdered Tao Spear killed countless divine emperors and devoured their killing intent to form this red murder Tao Qi. This murder Tao was Murdered Tao Spear's Tao. If Yi Mo didn't fuse Murdered Tao Spear into Zisu, then perhaps one day Murder Dao Spear would vindicate Dao and became the #1 slaughter weapon of the universe. Yi Mo sighed and continued to seal this murder Dao Qi. He felt he couldn't control it yet. The slaughtering intent inside was too terrifying. Yi Mo grabbed that gray Qi again, and when he scanned his spirit sense in, all sorts of impure Qi came rushing at all. Yi Mo didn't kick them away this time. He knew that the Qi inside came from the ancient powerful beings who died to murder Dao Spear. As a solo cultivator who had no sect nor master, these information were extremely important to him. If he organized them and cast away the useless information, the rest would be very useful to him. Yi Mo put away Little Blue, and the golden page world fell silent again. Everyone had their own thing to do, and Yi Mo was immersed in organizing the information. A few years later, that gray Qi disappeared, and Yi Mo remembered the useful information. All sorts of God spirit items, Dao fruit and chaos spirit items, primordial materials, pill recipes, forgery knowledge, formation, runes, Dao vindication pathways. It wasn't just knowledge that appeared in his mind, but also learnings of Dao waves and God art that only came with time. Yi Mo was extremely surprised and joyful. He didn't expect that gust of gray Qi to be this precious. It was no lesser in value than that purple primordial material. He lacked these things the most. Otherwise, he would have heard about the light heart. From these information, Yi Mo soon knew where he was. He was in a place called the Dark Void. This was a region of void between the Void Marketplace, Demon Realm, and Phoenix Realm. He got another more important information from someone called Yuan. The life goal of this person was to find Meng Zhan and rob his 3 pages of primordial golden pages and go to a place in the void to collect a gust of chaos Qi. Yi Mo didn't know where Meng Zhan died, but his 3 golden pages were in his hands now. Chaos Qi was an essence Qi of the world that was born when the world was first created. Yuan didn't have Chaos World, so he couldn't collect the Qi. That's why he wanted to kill Meng Zhan. However, he died to the murdered Dao Spear somehow. Yi Mo didn't move. He took out a jade bead, and in just a few seconds, he printed a vast void map into the bead. Inside was a golden spot, and that was the ball of Chaos Qi in Yuan's memories. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2159, Dao Actualization. Chapter 2159, Dao Actualization in the Dark Void. Yi Mo sped through like crazy with his space-time boat. Chaos Qi was extremely precious to other people, and to him, it was like his life. This was because he not only had the Chaos World, but also Chaos Tree. According to the information left behind by Yuan, the Chaos Qi was sitting in the depth of the Dark Void. The Dark Void was boundless and had no God Spirit Qi nor any precious things. Therefore, rarely did people come here. Yuan was trapped in here, unable to leave, and thus, after staying for a few 100,000 years, he found a Chaos Qi ball. Yuan resisted his excitement and didn't touch it. Instead, he marked it. He thought that if he couldn't find a way out in another 10,000 years, he would break the ball and get as much as he can. Yuan knew that Chaos Qi balls would slowly dissipate in the void if opened and not taken in time. What Yuan didn't expect was that he was extremely lucky and only used a few 100 years to find a way out and came to the border demon realm. Despite this, Yuan didn't go out immediately. He continued to map the dark void, fearing he would never be able to find the Chaos Qi once he left. After another few millennia of searching, he completely mastered how to judge direction in the dark voice. Only then did he leave the dark void. He had decided to use all means necessary to rob a chaos item. Even if he couldn't get the 3 golden pages, he would find another chaos item to take away the Chaos Qi ball. However, he never came back ever since he went out. He died to the murdered Tao spear. If Yemo didn't melt the murdered Tao spear, no one would ever know the secret again. A few years later, Yemo stopped at a place no different to everywhere else. However, Yemo knew that Yuan said the ball of chaos chi was here. The darkness here was different to other places. There was a sliver of spirit in this darkness. It was extremely subtle, and if one didn't watch carefully, one wouldn't notice at all. Yemo was certain that if he didn't get news from Yuan, even if he went past here tens of times, he wouldn't notice it. He didn't know how many times Yuan went past here, but Yemo knew that Yuan was definitely much stronger than him. Yemo carefully went towards the region with spirit. 3 days later, Yemo suddenly saw a milky white aura appear before him. Yemo caught this indescribable chi. Yemo rejoiced like crazy. He was certain the information was true. The milky white aura was where the chaos chi ball was. The next moment, Yemo put away the space-time boat and came next to a huge white cocoon. Chaos chi was sealed by the white cocoon. Yemo could still feel the intense chaos chi. The next moment, Yemo put away the space-time boat and came up to the huge white cocoon. Chaos chi was bound by the cocoon, but Yemo could still feel the chaos chi there. This dense chaos chi was ever more pure than the Golden Page world's chaos chi when he first got it. Yemo didn't hesitate at all and tore open this cocoon and went inside. At the same time, he opened the Golden Page world, wanting to send all the chi inside. As soon as Yemo went in the white cocoon, that world creation grand force struck into his will. Yemo instantly lost consciousness. That white cocoon exploded and countless soft chaos chi wrapped Yemo. A 3-meter tall green tree suddenly rose above Yemo's head and swept in the white chaos chi like crazy. All Yemo's senses had been barricaded at this moment. The milky white chaos chi wasn't swept into the Golden Page world like Yemo imagined. It was devoured by the rose that rose from his head. The chaos tree devoured the chaos chi like crazy and grew like crazy. Waves of Tao chi circulated around Yemo. Yemo's consciousness gradually fused into the endless world creation Tao. Great Tao had no mark, no need for sharp edges. Time flew by as the chaos tree grew, and Yemo was in enlightenment. Meanwhile, the chaos chi ball kept reducing. This ball of chaos chi was too big. Even after a few decades, the white chi was still circulating around Yemo. The chaos tree had grown to 100 meters tall. Its branches covered this region of space. Feeling that Yemo was learning Tao in the chaos chi, the chaos tree also seeped out some Tao waves to help Yemo learn Tao. Yemo was completely immersed in his enlightenment of his Tao. The little enlightenment coming from upgrading Su was now infinitely expanded, and it became clearer and clearer before forming his Tao. Barriers were being torn. Yemo didn't even realize he reached Tao actualization. His enlightenment kept increasing. However, he didn't have any God spirit chi to help him. The first to notice this was small ginseng. Small ginseng was very sensitive to natural spirit items. When Yemo opened the Golden Page world, although he couldn't send in the chaos chi, a part of it was taken into the Golden Page world. Small ginseng woke up and immediately left the Golden Page world, coming outside. When he saw the endless milky, white chaos chi, he was dumbfounded. How could small ginseng not know the preciousness of the chaos chi? He was immediately going to draw it into the Golden Page world, but then he saw that vast chaos tree and the extremely dense life chi emitting from it. He didn't need to do anything, and his broken arm visibly grew back. Such powerful life force, small ginseng amazed. He could see the trouble his boss had. If he didn't provide his boss with God crystals or God spirit range, boss's enlightenment might stop due to a lack of God's spirit source. If this enlightenment ended, it would be a huge pity. Small ginseng gave up drawing the chaos chi into the Golden Page world and quickly threw out Yemo's God crystals and set up spirit gathering formation. Small Ginseng's formation skills weren't bad, but even if he didn't know anything, he just needed to throw the god crystals next to Yemo, and it would be enough for Yemo 1 billion god crystals stacked around Yemo. But Small Ginseng was still worried. He dragged that extreme grade god spirit range next to Yemo. After doing all these, Small Ginseng breathed easy and started to think about gathering the dispersed chaos chi into the golden page world. Small Ginseng's power was too weak and could only gather some. More was dispersing. This ball of chaos chi was just too big. The chaos tree had grown taller than 300 meters. Yemo and the chaos tree devoured the chaos chi faster and faster. Small Ginseng saw the god crystals rapidly deplete, and even the god spirit range started to deplete. He became very worried. Just when he wanted to bring the rest of the god spirit ranges all out, he heard Yemo say, "No need, Small Ginseng. My enlightenment has reached its extreme. Even if I have god spirit range, I wouldn't be able to reach Tao Essence, Divine Emperor." Yemo then opened his eyes. His Tao wave chi stealthed and dissipated inside his body. With the help of the chaos tree and chaos chi, he reached Tao actualization peak stage. He's just one step from Tao Essence, but Yemo knew that this little step can be an impassable ravine. If he didn't learn the Tao of being ordinary from upgrading Zi Su, then even if he reached Tao actualization, he would never be able to reach Tao actualization peak stage. Boss, is Tao actualization peak stage? Small Ginseng couldn't see Yemo's cultivation level, but Yemo said it. The chaos tree became ethereal and soon immersed into Yemo's dantian. Yemo sent the rest of the chaos chi into the golden page world and said, "Yes, I'm Tao actualization peak stage. Good thing your arm is repaired now. We can go out." Although he was Tao actualization peak stage, Yemo's powerful strength made him believe he had the power to kill Tao Essence Masters. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2160, Return to the Void Marketplace. Chapter 2160, Return to the Void Marketplace. If he didn't reach Tao actualization peak stage, Yemo would think to enter the demon realm and ask about the abyssal realm. He wouldn't dare to go to the Void Marketplace. But now, the first place Yemo wanted to go was the Void Marketplace. With his current cultivation level and power, there was no doubt he could kill Tao Essence. Through his enlightenment, he learned the difference between Tao Vindication, second step, and third step. The third step was Primordial Essence. Primordial Essence masters can easily tear open void. Their will was powerful to the extreme. Therefore, Yemo was certain that the two powerful beings he saw at the auction weren't Primordial Essence, Divine Emperors. Their spirit sense was strong, but couldn't compare with Primordial Essence, Divine Emperor. They were at most two halfway Primordial Essence. The difference between halfway Primordial Essence and Primordial Essence, Divine Emperor, was heavens apart. Yemo wasn't scared. With his current power level and Zi Su, even if he didn't use Golden Arrow of Divine Extermination, he wouldn't be killed by half Primordial Essence. At most, he would run away. Now, Yemo found a place in the dark void. He felt that space was weak and released Zi Su hacking out. An extremely vibrant purple color sliced across the dark void. The beam was so bright that it illuminated the entire dark void purple. Under this purple color, a crack opened in the void. The crack wasn't big, but it was much bigger than the small crevice Yemo worked so hard to open before. A few void wind blades flew over, meaning that this void realm was opened up by Yemo. Yemo ignored the wind blades and went into the crack he opened up. The next moment, the crack disappeared gradually. Yemo stood in the familiar void and felt very excited. Just one strike, and he knew how much he had improved. Before, he used the Tao restriction pill formation, golden arrow of divine extermination, and murdered Tao spear. Even after using all that, he only barely opened a crevice for the golden page world to slip in. But today he casually swung, and he opened a crack enough to fit his entire body easily. This was the difference. Yi Mo stood in the void and desperately wanted a Tao Essence Divine Emperor to fight him. After a long while, Yi Mo released Space-Time Boat. The location disc on it showed a bright spot, which was the void marketplace. Yi Mo exclaimed, "This was the benefit of being powerful. Otherwise, he might need a few hundred or 1,000 years to come back here. If one day he reached primordial essence, perhaps his spirit sense could cross the void and realms." Space-Time Boat sliced through the void and headed to the void marketplace as its fastest speed. In just 2 months, the Space-Time Boat stopped outside the void marketplace. In order for people to not care, Yi Mo showed his cultivation level to be Tao Actualization primary stage. He was Tao Nourishment peak stage before. It was no wonder that he reached Tao Actualization primary stage. When Yi Mo went in, he found that the void marketplace was much more busy than before. He saw many more human races before. A familiar person flashed across his eyes. Yi Mo immediately recognized that person. He was Great Sun God Mountain Dong, and Yi Mo didn't expect Dong and to have really come to the void marketplace. He was halfway Tao essence now. Yi Mo guessed it was the help of the Tao fruit he gave Dong in. Just when Yi Mo wanted to greet Dong in, Yi Mo saw the Tao essence Divine Emperor next to Dong and gave up the thought. He was close to Dong, but he had conflict with the Great Sun God Mountain. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor next to him was quite possibly from Great Sun God Mountain. 3 more people appeared in Yi Mo's vision. Yi Mo knew 2 of them. The 3 were probably from the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect. The strongest was Tao Actualization Divine Emperor Wang Nanshuang. Yi Mo had a good impression of her as Xiaoyin's master, said Wang Nanshuang detested evil and hated being pretentious. The other 2 was Tao Nourishment Divine Emperors. One was Ji Shi, but Yi Mo didn't know the third. If it was other people from the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect, Yi Mo wouldn't be bothered to go up, but since Ji Shi appeared here, Yi Mo immediately walked up and stopped them. The Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect was a top sect that no one dared to mess with in the divine Tao realm other than the Great Sun God Mountain. But in the void marketplace, the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect was nothing. The 3 were very careful. Now that a person suddenly came before them, they subconsciously retreated a few steps. Then they saw it was Yi Mo, it's you. The 3 recognized Yi Mo at the same time. Yi Mo said expressionlessly, "That's right, it's me." Then he looked at Ji Shi. "Ji, when are you planning to give me what you owe me?" Hearing Yi Mo reply rudely, Wang Nanshuang's face sunk, but she didn't do anything. She knew Yi Mo's power. The 3 of them combined was no match for Yi Mo's power. She was even more shocked at Yi Mo's cultivation speed. He only seemed to be Tao molding Divine Emperor before, but now he was a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. Martial Uncle Nanshuang and Martial Sister Yuehe, go to the Immortal Rest Tower first. I have some business with MBE. Ji, she said. She knew Yi Mo was after the 3 treasure, primordial essence, gourd. No, we'll go together. Wang Nanshuang said without hesitation. How could she let Ji she leave with Yi Mo alone? The void marketplace was dangerous, and Yi Mo was an enemy of the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect. Their words immediately caught the attention of Dong and them. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor turned around and saw Yi Mo. He immediately walked over. Dong In and the other 3 people came too. Brother Yi, long time no see. Dong and looked at Yi Mo in shock and came up to greet. He was shocked at Yi Mo's cultivation level. He was already Tao Actualization. Haha, I didn't expect to meet Castle Master Dong at the Void Marketplace. Yi Emo smiled and returned the gesture. Elder Dong, you know him? That great sun god mountain Tao essence divine emperor looked at Dong and in confusion. Dong and quickly told him about how he met Emo. The Tao essence divine emperor looked at Emo and then Wang Nanshuang and suddenly asked, "You're the person who took away Saint Mu Xiaoyan from the immortal goddess sacred sect? Did you know that Mu Xiaoyan was a saint that the great sun god mountain ordered?" Yi Emo looked at this Tao essence and said coldly, "Piss off. I'm not in the mood to look for your trouble." If it was outside, he would have killed this Tao essence divine emperor already, but now he didn't want to fight in the void marketplace. He needed to get back the gourd first. He would definitely kill this Tao essence divine emperor. Not only that, he would annihilate great sun god mountain. Hearing a Tao actualization divine emperor dare to tell him to piss off, this Tao essence divine emperor's killing intent immediately spread out. Sensing this, the nearby ordinary divine emperors all left. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2161. Ask for 3 treasure gourd. Chapter 2161. Ask for 3 treasure gourd. Pill divine, a voice of surprise and joy sounded, and a gray man appeared before him. His skin and hair as well as robes were completely gray. As soon as this man landed, the killing intent of the great sun god mountain Tao essence divine emperor was instantly dispersed. People could tell that this gray man dispersed the killing intent. Yi Emo saluted with his fists, so it's Brother Xing. I haven't seen you for a while indeed. This person was Xing Hong. Congratulations on reaching Tao actualization, divine emperor Pill Divine. If you don't mind, we're willing to hold an immortal fruit party for you. Xing Hong said happily. Compared to how calmly he was with Yi Emo last time, his expression was much more vivid. He thought Yi Emo would agree to him before, so he didn't watch Yi Emo. He thought this Pill Divine Yi would soon come to find him. However, Pill Divine Yi disappeared for 100 years. Although there were legends that Pill Divine Yi was killed by Wan Tong Tong, but as a Tao Essence Divine Emperor, he didn't believe a Pill Divine would die that easily. Otherwise, there was no way Yi Emo would reach Pill Divine. Then, Xing Hong went to investigate the situation. Things were indeed different to rumors. When Yi Emo left the void marketplace, he intentionally left marks along the way. That's how Bailey Hong caught up to Wan Tong Tong. There was no way Wan Tong Tong would leave these marks as she was hunting Yi Emo, so it was definitely Yi Emo who left behind these marks. Knowing that Yi Emo might have not died, Xing Hong kept Yi Emo's stall. However, he was disappointed as Yi Emo truly never came back again. Now 100 years had passed, and Yi Emo came back to the void marketplace. How could he not be excited? A Tao actualization Pill Divine. How could the void marketplace merchant tower let him go? Hearing this, the people nearby looked at Yi Emo with different light. Was there a need to celebrate Yi Emo reaching Tao actualization divine emperor when there were this many Tao actualization divine emperors in the void marketplace? It was just to suck up to Yi Emo, no need for the celebration party. I still have a private business to deal with. After I deal with that, I will go to Void Marketplace Merchant Tower to visit Brother Xing. Yi Emo said calmly. He knew that Xing Hong did all this, so he could concoct pills for the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower long term, but there was no way he would do that. Xing Hong quickly said, I'm not busy, I'll help you. Then his smile faded, and he stared coldly at the great sun god mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor. You dare to be so rude to Pill Divine? Do you think you're a Tao Essence Divine Emperor so you can be cocky in the void marketplace? This great sun god mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor was already completely shocked when he saw Xing Hong be so polite to Yi Emo. He didn't even dare to bullshit to an ordinary immortal friends from the void marketplace merchant tower, much less a void marketplace merchant tower Tao essence divine emperor. I don't dare to. I just saw that pill divine. Ye came from the divine Tao realm. That's why I wanted to greet him. The Tao essence divine emperor quickly said. Xinghong ignored him and asked GMO, Pill divine, do you need me to help kill this bastard? His tone sounded like it was as simple as killing an insect. The great sun god mountain Tao essence divine emperor heard this and shook. Killing him like that, this was too cruel. But he knew that the void marketplace merchant tower had the right to say such words. Yi Mo smiled. Thank you, Brother Xing, but no need for now. Then he looked at this Tao essence divine emperor. You've greeted me already, you can piss off. In time, I will go vice Great Sun God Mountain with Shaoyan. By the way, Great Sun God Mountain has a Great Sun God Peak. I plan to use that as a urine kettle. Hearing this, the Tao essence divine emperor's face went green, but he didn't dare to say anything. He could only forbear his fury and walk away. He swore that if he saw Mo alone, he would turn them to dust. Humph. Xinghong sneered. Mo smiled to Xinghong. Brother Xing, there seems to be a sudden increase in people in the void marketplace. There's more humans than before, too. What's going on? Seeing this, Xinghong smiled and said, You should know this. The Tao Fruit Tower is about to open. Many people came to enter it. Of course, if Pill Divine needs a spot, then I have it covered. Yi Mo's cultivation level was no weaker than Tao Essence Divine Emperor. He really didn't care if there was top Tao fruit in the tower, so he quickly waved his hand. I don't need it for now. If I really do, then I'll ask Brother Xing for help. Yi Mo didn't care about this spot, but Wang Nanshuang and them on the side were dazed. She almost wanted to charge up and grab Yi Mo's shirt and ask him if he was crazy. They all came for the Tao Fruit Tower spot. Even if they couldn't go in, they would want to exchange for a Tao fruit from inside. Due to this, they brought the most precious things in their sect. Xinghong looked at Ji Shi and the two other women next to her and smiled. Okay, Pill Divine, ye do your things first. After you're done, I'll come invite Pill Divine ye. Then Xinghong left and disappeared into the crowd. Seeing this, Wang Nanshuang suddenly saluted with his fists. Pill Divine, you go discuss with Ruoshi. I will go back, carrot the rest tower, first with martial sister Yueha. Wang Nanshuang dragged the other Tao nourishment divine emperor away. She knew what her martial uncle meant, but she sighed. It's not her first day knowing Mo. No matter what she say, Mo wasn't going to give the immortal goddess, sacred, sect a Tao fruit tower spot. Even if she sacrificed her body, Mo wouldn't agree. Plus, she wouldn't do that. 5 minutes later, Mo and she appeared in an immortal rest tower room. At this time, it was impossible to find a room in the immortal rest tower, but when Mo walked in with her, the attendant asked if Mo wanted a room. She thought, as long as she was with Mo, there didn't seem to be anything hard. That was how she survived in the life-crippling bridge. After closing the door, Mo waved up a restriction and looked calmly at her. I don't have time to waste. Give me what you owe. She quickly said apologetically. And B, if the other half of the gourd is won me right now, I will definitely give it to you. What do you mean? Mo's tone went cold. Before she schemed against Shaoyan, Mo had some good impression towards Ji, but now she was no different to Ji-Sini in Mo under size. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2162, I'm Not Free. Chapter 2162, I'm Not Free. Marshall brother, you listen to me first. I was planning to give that gourd to Marshall's sister Xiaoyan, but something happened in between. Before I could give it to her, you took Marshall's sister Xiaoyan away. Ji Shi's tone was extremely genuine. Yi Mo knew this. Xiaoyan, said Ji. She was going to give her something, but Xiaoyan missed him too much and didn't care. Even so, Yi Mo interrupted Ji. Just tell me where the gourd is now. I've left the gourd with my master. I don't know how long it will take for me to go back from the void marketplace. I don't even know if I can go back. I was afraid you would go to the immortal goddess, sacred sect to ask for the gourd, so I left it there. If I knew you came to the void marketplace, I would bring it. Gee, she sighed. She was telling the truth. That half gourd had no use to her. She didn't need to offend Yi Mo for it. Yi Mo's heart surged with disappointment. He got up. He didn't have the mood to talk with Ji Shi anymore. Seeing Yi Mo get up, Ji Shi got up too. Marshall brother Yi, thank you. Yi Mo knew that she was thanking him for saving her life on the life-crippling bridge. But Ji Shi knew Xiaoyan was his wife and still didn't try to help her. Yi Mo's impression of her was extremely bad. Seeing Yi Mo couldn't be bothered to talk to her, Ji Shi said dejectedly, Marshall brother Yi, how is Marshall's sister Xiaoyan? Yi Mo stopped and turned around saying coldly, Ji Shi, that's not something you need to care about. Just give me that gourd. If I go back to the divine Tao realm and find out you're lying one single bit, then I will annihilate immortal goddess, sacred sect before the great sun god mountain does. Then Yi Mo walked out and disappeared from this immortal rest tower. Yi Mo just walked out of the tower and an extremely pretty goddess bowed. May I ask if you're Pale Divine Yi Master? Yi Mo looked at her in confusion. He didn't know her at all. Then Yi Mo thought of Xinghong and immediately said, I am. The goddess quickly said, Xinghong, invite Pale Divine Master to chat at the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. I was ordered to wait here for you. Okay, lead the way. Yi Mo was planning to go vice Xinghong. He wasn't scared of them, but it was good to connect with them. Seeing Yi Mo so compliant, the goddess said in surprise and joy, Thank you, Pale Divine Yi. This way, please. Wait, they were suddenly stopped an emotionless voice. At the same time, a man with blue lethal light on his face appeared before the two. His hair was messy, and he was Tao Essence Divine Emperor Peak Stage. He seemed very messy, but his icy, cold, killing intent could be felt by all those around him. Yi Mo didn't move. He knew this person. When he acted as a Tao Essence Divine Emperor coming back to the Void Marketplace, this guy was looking for him. He didn't hear Pale Divine Yi? The Tao Essence Divine Emperor stared at Yi Mo for a while before asking. Yi Mo answered plainly, Yes, I am. I'm Qiao He. I've been waiting for you in the Void Marketplace for 100 years. Please come with me. As he spoke, his powerful killing intent receded, but his tone was still icy cold. It was as though that because he told Yi Mo to go, Yi Mo should go with him, no questions asked. I am Pale Divine, indeed, but why should I go with you? Yi Mo asked back. Hearing this, Qiao He's killing intent soared. As his killing intent soared, a burst of blue circulated around his body. Even he didn't expect that Yi Mo dared to argue back. Yi Mo was already annoyed that he didn't get the gourd, and now Qiao He dared to act so cocky in front of him. Facing Qiao He's powerful lethal force, Yi Mo went in instead and smashed out his domain. Yi Mo's domain was about to become a realm, and with his spirit sense domain on top, Qiao He was pushed back tens of steps even though he was Tao Essence Peak Stage. Qiao He's lethal force domain crumbled under Yi Mo's domain. Qiao He looked at Yi Mo in disbelief. He completely didn't expect this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor could so easily break his Tao Essence domain. This wasn't him attacking at full power, but he could tell that even if he attacked with full power, he wouldn't be able to get an advantage with Yi Mo. Was this Tao Actualization, Pale Divine, only a Tao Actualization? Yi Mo ignored Qiao He and walked up to that scared pretty goddess and said, "Ignore this cocky bastard, lead the way." Okay. The goddess suppressed her shock and quickly led in front. "Pill divine, ye wait." Qiao, he came up. Yemo no longer had his patience and looked coldly at Qiao. What? Do you want to fight? Then go. No. Pill divine ye. Our palace lord is inviting you to be a guest. Please. His tone was much calmer this time. Yemo said without hesitation, "Tell your pai I have no time." Then Yemo sped up and the goddess sped up. Seeing Yemo ignore him, Qiao He's face went blue for a while, but he controlled himself. Instead, he followed Yemo to the void marketplace merchant tower. "Pill divine, Yi, please come in." Xing Hong greeted up before Yemo even walked in. Xing Hong invited Yemo into the merchant tower's luxurious guest hall and told the goddesses to bring the best immortal fruit and immortal tea. Yemo drank the tea, and aroma circulated non-stop. The aroma could clear up one sea of consciousness. "Pill divine ye, this is the best snow ripple tea from Snow Ripple Lake. If Pill divine ye likes it, I'll give you some." Seeing Yemo seemingly like this tea, Xing Hong immediately smiled and said, "Then thank you, Brother Xing. Did you find me to give me some immortal tea, or is it for something else?" Yemo didn't have the mood to waste time here. He wanted to find a place to rest and then ask about the abyssal realm. Xing Hong smiled awkwardly. "Pill divine, you probably knows what I want. Our merchant tower is quite powerful in the void marketplace, but unfortunately, our top pill divines are growing less. There's not a single pill divine like Pill Divine." Seeing Yemo not talk, Xing Hong could only continue. "Everyone knows Pill Divine Ye's power in the void marketplace. If you're willing, our merchant tower wants to invite Pill Divine Yi to join our merchant tower." Yemo immediately said, "Thank you, Brother Xing, but God Crystals and God Spirit Range are not very attractive to me anymore, and I can't join the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower." Of course, if the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower needs me to concoct pills, then on Brother Xing's account I can do a few batches. As for fees, there's no need, but my pill concoction success rate is only 50%. Xing Hong knew that inviting someone like Yemo to join them wasn't realistic unless he used force. But as a pill divine, if Yemo went in and never came back out, it would clearly have a huge effect on the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower's reputation. Plus, he also knew that Qiao he wanted to invite Yemo to concoct pills. It was already great that Yemo offered to concoct pills. Hearing that Yemo actually had 50% success rate, Xing Hong quickly said, "Thank you very much, Pill Divine. I really want to ask you to concoct some pills. You only need to give us 30%. The rest will be yours." Yemo smiled. "No, I can't trouble Brother Xing. I said 50%, so 50% it is. Perhaps I will be needing Brother Xing's help in the Void Marketplace." Xing Hong was very happy. God pills had a very low success rate, and now that Yemo said he was giving 50% to them, it was a huge favor. He said with some pity, "We wanted to buy that light heart for Pill Divine, but pity it was taken by an extremely powerful half-primordial essence master." Yemo didn't listen to that at all. He didn't believe they would give the light heart to him. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2163, Spot Distribution Gathering. Chapter 2163, Spot Distribution Gathering. Although Yemo looked down on what Xing Hong said, he still asked in shock, "There's actually halfway primordial essence masters who came to the auction?" Xing Hong sighed. "Yeah, and there wasn't just one. Luckily the auction side had a halfway primordial essence master too, or things would have been dangerous. The one who bought the light heart is probably a demon race divine emperor. He hid his power to Tao essence, but when he tore open the space in the room, he exposed his power. Yi Mo nodded. It was hard for even halfway primordial essence to tear open the void marketplace space. But since the buyer ran away, he was at most a halfway primordial essence. If it was a primordial essence divine emperor, he wouldn't need to run away. Xing Hong clearly didn't have the mood to keep talking about the light heart. He took out a jade card for Yi Mo and said, "Pill Divine Yi, this is the jade card for the biggest immortal rest tower of our Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. If you use this to enter Void Star Immortal Rest Tower, you can choose any room to go in." Yi Mo quickly took the jade card and said, "Thank you, Brother Xing. I do have a few things to ask Brother Xing." Xing Hong was in a good mood and quickly said, "Just ask me whatever you need, Pill Divine Yi. I'll tell you whatever I know." "I heard Brother Xing say before that the Dao Fruit Tower was about to open. How much time is there left?" Yi Mo didn't want to go in the Dao Fruit Tower, but he wanted to buy some Dao fruits outside. With his pill concoction capabilities, it wasn't very hard. Hearing Yi Mo ask about the Dao Fruit Tower again, Xing Hong immediately said, "There's 3 months till the Dao Fruit Tower opens. There's a lot of things before it opens." Yi Mo nodded. "I know you told me last time. There will be a God rank and Dao rank challenge." "That's right. On the Void Marketplace God rank square, there will be 2 battle stages for the challenges. The challenge for them hasn't begun, but the distribution for the different races is about to begin. At that time, the powerful beings of all the races will gather together and discuss the distribution of the Dao Fruit Tower spots." Xing Hong said, "How many spots does each race have? Does it need to be redistributed each time the Dao Fruit Tower opens?" Yi Mo asked in shock. He thought the spots were distributed already. Xing Hong said, "Of course, but you might have understood wrong. This distribution isn't to take out all the spots of the races and redistribute them. It's redistribution of the extra ones. For example, the human race was once very strong and had 30 spots to enter the Dao Fruit Tower. Later, the divine Dao realm was broken, and after a while, no human race powerful beings came to this distribution. Thus, there are extra spots. The divine emperors of the God ranks won't all come to the Dao Fruit Tower, so there will be extra spots from there. Are there no powerful beings to represent the human race ever since the divine Dao realm was broken?" Yi Mo asked in shock. To him, although the divine Dao realm was broken, but there were still quite some Dao essence masters. There shouldn't be no one to lead the way. Xing Hong knew Yi Mo was human, so he could only speak for Yi Mo and sighed, "Of course there is, but every time a powerful being came to represent the human race, he would be killed at the distribution, so in time no divine emperor came to represent the human race." "Why would they be killed? Is the human race representative going to be killed for just asking for a few spots?" Yi Mo asked in confusion. Xing Hong sighed. "I remember the last time a representative for the human race came. He was a Dao Essence Divine Emperor. He just asked for 2 spots, but he was still challenged by a demon race Dao Essence Divine Emperor. He was killed, and then the 2 spots were taken by the demon race." Yi Mo's face sunk. He was a human too. They only asked for 2 out of the 30 spots of human race, and the demon race Divine Emperor would kill them. Just how cocky were they? "Pill Divine Yi, you're from the human race. If you become a Dao Essence Pill Divine, then it's not impossible to help the human race get a few spots." Xing Hong could tell Yi Mo wasn't happy and added, "Is the strongest representative primordial essence Divine Emperor?" Yi Mo asked. Xing Hong smiled. "How can there be that many primordial essence Divine Emperor? Each race only has 1 or 2 primordial essence Divine Emperor. They're all perfecting their own world. Who would have the time to come to this distribution? So, it's only Dao Essence peak stages. Even halfway primordial essences are very rare to see. But of course, the number of primordial essence divine emperors a race has is their confidence. Realizing this, Yi Mo nodded. Thank you for letting me know. I still want to ask you for help. Just say it, pill divine Yi. Xing Hong said. Yi Mo said without hesitation, I want to represent the human race for this Dao Fruit Tower Spot distribution gathering. If the human race didn't even have the opportunity to enter the Dao Fruit Tower and just cowered in a broken realm, how can they ever get strong? They would only get weaker and weaker. Even if some sects use resources to buy Dao fruits, it was a bad decision. A sect's resources is used to cultivate Wanbais. If these resources flowed into the void marketplace, it would create a negative cycle. Plus, without the protection of powerful divine emperors, can people protect their Dao fruits? Xing Hong looked at Yi Mo in shock and asked after a long while, Pill Divine, you want to participate in the Dao Fruit Tower Spot distribution gathering? Yes, I do. How do I go? Yi Mo asked. Xing Hong finally realized that Yi Mo meant in. His face became serious, and he saluted with his fists. Pill Divine, there are some things I need to be clear with you. I hope you don't mind. Please say it, I won't mind. Yi Mo could guess what Xing Hong was going to say. Xing Hong said, although in the void marketplace and amongst other races, pill divines and forgery divines are the most respected, they have no special right in this gathering. The representative of any race could challenge you for a spot, and you have to accept. If you lose and die, you will lose the spot. I need to tell you that although there are no primordial essence divine emperors, the people who go are Dao essence and even Dao essence peak stage. Pill divine, you're only Dao actualization, and you just reached it. Yi Mo got up and saluted with his fists. Thank you, Brother Xing, for thinking for me, but I've made up my mind to join. Please help me. Of course. I don't mean to help me during the gathering, but just to help me participate. I believe there's still a few days before the gathering. If Brother Xing is worried, I can concoct pills before I go. Xing Hong suddenly thought of Wan Tong Tong and them. They were from the god rank, but they couldn't do anything to Yi Mo. Even if Yi Mo was no match, he wouldn't be instantly killed. Then, the void marketplace merchant tower would save him. That way, how can Yi Mo not be grateful towards them? Thinking about this, Xing Hong said, it's very simple to join. Since Pill Divine, Yi is set on joining, then leave it to me. I will sign up for you. 9 days later, the gathering will be held at the God Rank Square. Yi Mo was quite happy when he left the void marketplace merchant tower. He didn't believe he would lose to Dao Essence divine emperors. Pill Divine Yi, Chow, he has been waiting for a long time. That messy-haired Dao Essence divine emperor stopped Yi Mo again, but his face was much more respectful this time. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2160 for the most expensive paymen. Chapter 2160 for the most expensive paymen. Yi Mo said impatiently, What do you want? I just said I don't have time to go with you for pill concoction. Move aside. Chow, he was very patient and said, Pill Divine, Yi, I was rude before. I apologize for that. I've been searching in the void marketplace for more than 100 years. I think only Pill Divine, he can concoct such pill. That's why I waited here for so long. I want to invite Pill Divine Yi to come with me to the Guangyuan Palace. I can agree to any conditions Pill Divine Yi has. Chow, he clearly wasn't a good talker. Yi Mo wasn't going to go with him just because he said that. Yi Mo stared at Chow He and said, I'm very busy now, and you can ask me to help concoct pills. Bring the materials over, and I can do one for you. The cost is 100 million god crystals, and I'll give you 30% of the pills. I'm not going to go with you. 1 million god crystals for one cauldron of pills. seemed like an absurd price, but Yi Mo knew this price wasn't much. Chow, he pleaded him like this, so it definitely was no simple pill. Perhaps it was even Tao Essence God Pill. For a cauldron of Tao Essence God Pill, people would be willing to pay a few $100 million. Plus, 30% wasn't little. Chow, he frowned bitterly and said, "Pill divine, Yi. If that would work, I would definitely bring the materials over for you to concoct. It's just that the materials can't be brought here. That's why I want to ask Pill divine, Yi to come to Guang Yuan Palace?" Yi Mo stopped and looked at Xiao, he asking, "What pill is it? It can't be brought over to be made?" Yi Mo asked because he was really curious. Even if it was some god spirit herb that must be used immediately upon digging it, Xiao, he would be able to bring it to him. Shaking light, soul refining pill. "Xiao," he said, and looked at Yi Mo. "What?" Yi Mo looked at Xiao he in shock. If it was before, he wouldn't even have heard of such pill, but after getting all the information from the murder Dao spear, he knew very clearly what the shaking light soul refining pill was. When he first knew about this pill, he even used the 3-birth chant to derive it. He knew that it was impossible for such pill to be made. He didn't know why someone left such pill recipe. The reason he cared about the pill was because of its effects. This pill could condense soul and return life force. He wanted to see if this pill could save CWQ. In the vast universe, there was a condition called soul loosening. This was prenatal. There was no way to cure this. As it grew worse, the soul would eventually be annihilated. People with such condition cannot cultivate at all and are very weak. They only live till their soul is completely annihilated. This process usually isn't very long, at most 100 years. Even if the process is very long, a person who can't cultivate can only survive for 100 years. The most important thing is that this pill required 999 different types of immortal spirit herbs and god spirit herb. The main spirit herb is called shaking light herb. It's not chaos herb nor top god spirit herb, but its value is no lower than chaos herb. This herb must not be moved away. It can't see light. If it was moved or put in light, it would wither within 15 minutes. This means that even if the pill could be made, it must be made within 15 minutes. The shaking light herb took 10,000 years to mature. More important, it would only mature if it was watered with 100 million year old god marrow. How much would that be for 10,000 years? Other people thought that if these conditions are met, the pill could be made, but Yi Mo knew this wasn't the case. Even if these spirit herb and god spirit herbs were mixed together, it still lacked something. It wasn't a god spirit herb, it was life force. It wasn't ordinary life force, but chaos life force. Only he had such life force. Only the chaos tree's chaos life force could ensure that the pill was concocted. How could Yi Mo take such business? Even if there was the shaking light herb, Yi Mo would reject without hesitation. These thoughts spun rapidly in his head. Then Yi Mo sneered at Xiao. "He's sorry. Ask for someone else powerful. You've been in the void marketplace for more than 100 years, and you want me to concoct the shaking light soul refining pill to save someone with a loosened soul. Even if your palace lord has heaven-shocking power to preserve that person from dying, that person can't be saved. Do as you please." Hearing this, Xiao, he was instead very surprised and joyful. He knelt down in front of Yi Mo and said, "Please help Pill Divine Yi. My palace lord has 3 shaking light herb." He invited 2 of the top pill divines, but they had to rely on the palace lord to provide the recipe. You can imagine the result. There's only 1 shaking light herb left. If pill divine, you don't help, then no one can concoct such pill. Yi Mo didn't expect a Tao Essence divine Emperor Peak Stage would kneel down in front of all these people on the streets. Yi Mo frowned. "Get up and talk." "Yes." Xiao, he was very obedient this time and got up immediately. Yi Mo didn't have a good feeling. Xiao, he was a Tao Essence divine Emperor Peak Stage and was willing to kneel to him. Didn't that mean the palace Lord Wasa? Primordial Essence Divine Emperor? If a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor thought he could concoct the pill, how can he get away? Although he had the means to kill Tao Essence Divine Emperor, it wasn't enough to protect himself in the universe. Qiao, he said, our palace lord said if someone can concoct the shaking light pill, he's willing to give 10 extreme grade God spirit range, 10 billion God crystals, and 100 drops of 100 million year God marrow, 10 Tao fruits, and your selection of 3 extreme grade God artifacts. You can even ask for primordial spirit artifacts. Hearing this payment, Yi Mo took in a cold breath. He had always thought he was wealthy, but compared to this offer, he was a beggar. There was this many things, how could he reject it? This was a test of heart. If he wanted to concoct pills, he would have to use the Chaos Tree life force. If he didn't use the life force, it would be a waste too. Yi Mo hesitated for half a day and said, I'm busy now, so I can't go with you. Qiao, he said without hesitation, it's fine. I'm not busy, I can follow you. When you have time, you can come with me. Pill Divine, you can consider me an errand boy. If you need me to do anything, just tell me. Yi Mo thought about the upcoming Tao fruit distribution gathering and nodded, then stay with me. It might take 100 years. If you can't wait that long, then there's nothing I can do. The reason Yi Mo said 100 years was because he felt his power was a bit too low to go to a primordial essences place to concoct pills. The reward was good, but he needed to be able to protect him. That meant that before he reached Tao Essence Divine Emperor, it was best that he didn't go. No matter how good the things were, he would need to have the life to use it. Qiao, he quickly said, no need. When our young mistress was BOM, her soul was loose. The palace lord immediately planted 3 shaking light herb and used death Tao fruit to preserve her life for 1 million years. Now, it has been 10,000 years. It's a bit hard to preserve her soul from loosening, but it should last a few hundred years. Yi Mo sighed. This Guang Yuan palace lord was really wealthy. He could easily take out something like death Tao fruit. Yi Mo nodded. Okay, I am staying at Void Star Immortal Rest Tower for now. 9 days later, I will be going to the God Rank Square for the Tao Fruit Tower Spot Distribution Gathering. Wait for me there. Yi Mo didn't intend to get Qiao He to help, but he was Tao Essence peak stage. He would be useful around him. Yes, I understand. Qiao, he saw Yi Mo, said nothing more, and quickly left. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2165, Person Who Don't Mind His Own Business. Chapter 2165, Person Who Don't Mind His Own Business. When Yi Mo entered the Void Star Immortal Rest Tower, the attendants came to greet him before he even took out his jade card. During these 9 days, Yi Mo didn't go out. He just stayed inside, thinking about the things he would face. He wasn't worried at all about the spot distribution gathering. He was thinking about if he should help that Primordial Essence Palace Lord concoct pills. If he did, he would get resources he had dreamed of, but there was equally as much danger. If he didn't go, all these good things would disappear, and he might have to face the hunt of a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. Yi Mo hadn't seen a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor before, but he knew they definitely weren't simple. Time flew by, and 9 days were gone. Xing Hong was worried about Yi Mo, but he didn't ask Yi Mo to concoct pills these few days. If he did, that would mean he was scared that Yi Mo would be killed at the gathering. The God Rank Square was enormous. There were restrictions and formations everywhere. At the top, there were 2 stone tablets that soared high into the clouds. The tablet was golden, and the words on it were white. The other tablet was white color, but the words were golden. Yi Mo looked at these 2 tablets and knew they were the God and Divine rank of the Void Marketplace. The golden tablet was probably the god rank, and the white one was the divine rank. Each tablet had a huge stage before it. There were restrictions all around the stage. Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned and immediately knew these two stages were for the challengers. The restrictions around them were so powerful that Yi Mo guessed even Tao Essence masters might not be able to break it. There were a lot of people on the square, but because this square was simply too big, there actually didn't seem to be that many people. Pil Divine Yi. When Yi Mo was still studying the stages, Qiao, he already came to Yi Mo and greeted him. Just when Yi Mo wanted to speak, he heard a cold voice, Luo Qinghe. Since you came then, accept my challenge. From today onwards, the 383rd place on the god rank belongs to me, Wukong. Then, a man wearing black robes landed on the stage. This person was Tao Actualization, peak stage. His face was already white, but with the black clothes he was wearing, it seemed even more pale. He had waves of demonic qi circulating around him. Anyone could tell he was a demon race, Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. Cocky words. The next moment, a blue immortal robed man landed on the stage. Yi Mo was surprised. This Luo Qinghe was a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor peak stage too, but this person was also human. Ever since coming to the Void Marketplace, Yi Mo had the feeling that the human race was very weak and timid. He didn't expect there was human race divine emperor on the god rank. It seemed that Xing Hong didn't lie to him. There were 2 human divine emperors on the god rank. Where was the other one? The demon race Tao Actualization Divine Emperor saw Luo Qinghe get up, and he couldn't even be bothered talking as he released a golden demonic whip. In that instant, the stage was covered by dark light, but there was golden color amidst this dark light. Luo Qinghe didn't retreat at all. He released a blue long sword at the same time. It also turned into a blue veil of swords. There was spirit sense barrier on the stage, so everyone could only watch with their eyes. People could only see clashes of blue and black rays. They couldn't tell who had the upper hand. Yi Mo's spirit sense couldn't scan into. He had spirit sense cultivation method, but he couldn't publicly break the rules. When he was thinking about who would win, he noticed something. That blue sword shadow gave him an extremely familiar feeling. He had seen such cultivation method before. Soon, Yi Mo remembered. The blue sword shadow was the same origin as the cultivation method Su Changji used. Su Changji was his martial brother, a disciple he took for his master. He changed up Su Changji's cultivation method, and that cultivation method was called Qing, he god cultivation chant. Thinking about how this person was called Luo Qinghe, Yi Mo realized. He was certain that Su Changji's cultivation method was left behind by this Luo Qinghe. This meant that Luo Qinghe had been to Luo Yu continent. Yi Mo sighed. The universe was vast, but once your cultivation level reached a certain stage, this endless universe would become small. Luo Qinghe came to the Void Marketplace and made a name for himself. He even became a divine emperor on the god rank. The 2 were invisible to the crowd. There was just clashes of black whip shadows and blue sword shadows with intense sounds. In a violent beast-like roar, the audience saw a black beast shadow. Yi Mo immediately recognized this was a mist demon beast. This one was countless times stronger than the one he had seen before. Everyone could tell that Wukong released this mist demon beast. It was extremely real and could even devour Sword Shadow. As the beast came out, Luo Qinghe's Sword Shadow loosened up. Darkness started to enclose the stage. Everyone knew that Luo Qinghe had half lost already. Even Yi Mo thought Luo Qinghe was going to lose and become food to the mist demon beast. Yi Mo sighed. He knew that on such stage, unless you surrendered and your opponent was willing to let you leave, there was no way out. Yi Mo really wanted to save Luo Qinghe, but he knew he didn't have the right to. Just when the blue sword shadow was about to disappear, there was suddenly a terrifying howl. Then, everyone saw that a dark red puppet appeared on the stage. It was extremely agile and easily tore the mist demon beast to pieces. Yi Emo nodded. This puppet was very high level and had its own consciousness. Luo Qinghe seemed to have good fortune. Luo Qinghe was angered by the mist demon beast. His blue sword shadow became condensed and pierced into Wu Kang's forehead. Wu Kang seemed to be possessed and just stood still there. The blue sword shadow instantly blew Wu Kang's head apart. As soon as Wu Kang's essence spirit escaped, it was annihilated by the puppet. Seeing this, Yi Emo knew that Luo Qinghe definitely knew a spirit sense cultivation method. No wonder he could ambush. Luo Qinghe took Wu Kang's things and jumped off the stage. Kid, how dare you ask people for help on a god rank challenge? You can leave your life here today. As soon as Luo Qinghe got off the stage, a bleak, murderous voice sounded. At the same time, a powerful red light hacked down. Luo Qinghe barely released his blue sword that blocked the red beam a bit. However, that red beam was much stronger. Luo Qinghe was struck by the red beam and spat mouthfuls of blood in the air. ATM, the red figure landed on the square. His powerful blood-colored killing intent and Tao essence divine Emperor Qi circulated around him. On the god-rank square, you, a Tao essence divine emperor, attacked me, a Tao actualization disregarding the rules. Luo Qinghe spoke while spitting blood. You hit a puppet on the stage. That's like 2 against 1 fighting Wukong. You broke the rules first. Why can't I attack you? The Tao Essence Divine Emperor said coldly and was about to attack again. There were many human race divine emperors, but none of them dared to speak. They knew that if they said anything, they would be killed. Luo Qinghe felt despaired. He wanted to use this opportunity to enter the Tao Fruit Tower and reach Tao Essence. However, this caused Tao Essence Master to kill him. Despite this, there was no way he was going to give up. Is your mouth on your butt or are your eyes on your asshole? Why are your words so full of shit? How come I saw one of them using a mist demon beast and one used a puppet? Just when this Tao Essence Divine Emperor wanted to attack again, a contemptuous voice interrupted him. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2166, Human Race, still exists. Chapter 2166, Human Race, still exists. This demon, divine, immediately stared at Yi Emo. When he saw that Yi Emo was a human Tao actualization divine emperor, his murderous force materialized, cracking up the nearby restrictions. Not only him, but all the other divine emperors in the square looked at Yi Emo in shock. They didn't get it. Yi Emo was a Tao actualization divine emperor and dared to speak like this to a Tao essence divine emperor? This was suicide. Even if Yi Emo was a human too, such actions weren't appreciated by them. Luo Qinghe also looked at Yi Emo in confusion. He didn't expect there to be such hot-blooded divine emperor. He knew it was suicide and still dared to curse a Tao essence divine emperor. Pale divine Yi, it's a mere Tao essence, leave it to me. Qiao, he saw the opportunity to help Yi Emo and immediately said. With this, the demon divine immediately calmed down. Qiao, he was Tao essence divine emperor peak stage and seemed much stronger than him. Qiao, his blue color also materialized around him. That would only form through constant slaughter. Plus, he knew Qiao He. Qiao, he had been in the Void Marketplace for more than 100 years. He killed God rank 127 Bailey Hong as a Tao Essence Divine Emperor, but no one looked for his trouble. Qiao He, I'm Demon Race Gong Xiang. You're a Tao Essence Divine Emperor. Are you going to help such rude human Tao actualization? Gong Xiang slightly collected his red qi. The nearby people realized. No wonder this Tao actualization divine emperor dared to speak to Gong Xiang like this. He had a Tao essence divine emperor to back him up. Yi Mo signaled Xiao he to not talk. He walked up and said, "This has nothing to do with the rest of the people. Gong Xiang, you're a Tao essence divine emperor, and you're oppressing a Tao actualization divine emperor. Do you have no shame?" Yi Mo didn't want to owe Qiao He yet. If Qiao He helped him, and he didn't help concoct pills, he would owe Qiao He a huge favor. Yi Mo hated owing people favors. Plus, he really didn't consider this demon Tao essence a threat. Hearing this, Gong Xiang rejoiced and spoke before Qiao he could. "I'm the representative for the demon race at this spot distribution gathering. Wu Kong and Luo Qinghe were fighting for the god rank, but that's also for a spot entering the Tao Fruit Tower. Of course, I have the right to manage this. Who are you planning to intervene to?" Because Qiao he was watching on the side, Gong Xiang didn't dare to be too harsh. He started to speak with reason. If he gained a foothold there, and Qiao he still dared to attack, he would immediately ask the Tao Essence Masters of the Square to attack. Meanwhile, he could kill Yi Mo and Luo Qinghe. Some people have recognized Pil Divini and started discussing on the side. Yi Mo smiled. "You're right. I'm the person representing the human race for this gathering. How come you have the right to intervene, but I don't?" "Do you think your demon race is going to oppress all the races? Do you think you're the strongest? What, you're the one representing the human race?" Gong Xiang didn't dare to believe this. Did Yi Mo desperately want to die? Although there was Qiao He on the side, he couldn't help in this. Only people of their own races could help them. Qiao, he clearly wasn't human race. He wouldn't even be able to enter. What? There's someone to represent the human race for this gathering. Human race re-entering the Tao Fruit Tower Distribution Gathering. Human Tao Actualization Pill Divine participating the Tao Fruit Tower Distribution. In a short while, this news spread out. In the Void Marketplace, all those humans who heard this headed to the God Rank Square. This was the first time they had heard in countless years that there was someone representing the human race. This was definitely a shocking news. Even if they only got one spot, this would mean that human race was speaking up amongst the races. They would no longer be abused and just tolerate it. Luo Qinghe was shaking in excitement. He wanted to reach Tao Essence quickly, just so he could represent the human race and participate in this gathering. Although he knew that even if he reached Tao Essence, he wouldn't be able to get a spot at the gathering. He was long sick of humans being oppressed in the Void Marketplace. He might not be able to change the status of the human race, but he would let all the other races know that human race still existed. Gong Xiang immediately realized that Yi Mo wasn't joking. He was overjoyed upon realization. "Okay, since you're representing the human race, then I formally challenge you now. We'll talk on the stage." Gong Xiang breathed out his annoyance. He finally had a proper reason to kill Yi Mo. Even Qiao, he didn't dare to stop him. Yi Mo was waiting for Gong Xiang to say this. Even if Gong Xiang didn't say this, he would kill this demon Tao Essence Divine Emperor in front of everyone. He killed a demon race Divine Emperor when he was only Tao Nourishment. Now that he was Tao Actualization Peak Stage, how could there be a problem? Just when Yi Mo was about to fight with Gong Xiang, a voice sounded in everyone's ears. "All the Divine Emperors representing their races for this gathering, please enter the square now. The gathering shall begin." A sliver of disappointment flashed across Gong Xiang's eyes, but then he smiled to Yi Mo. "Very well. You can live a little longer. I will still come after you on this gathering. Leave behind your last wishes unless you cower on the side and not even take one spot." Then Gong Xiang flew towards the largest building on the left of the square. Qiao he saluted with his fists to Yi Mo. "Pill Divine, Yi, I will wait for you at the door." Yi Mo glanced at Qiao. He strangely, "You're not worried that I can't come out?" Qiao, he immediately said, no. Pill Divine Ye's power is probably on par with mine. He had fought with Yi Mo before. He already had an estimate for Yi Mo's power. He was certain that if Yi Mo fought with Gong Xiang wouldn't be able to take out Yi Mo for sure. Okay, then wait for me, Yi Mo said and waddled towards that door. He would come find Luo Qinghe later. Luo Qinghe sped up to Yi Mo and said, thank you for helping Pill Divine Yi, or I might have died already. Hearing people call Yi Mo Pill Divine Yi at the square, he called Yi Mo Pill Divine Yi too. Yi Mo smiled. Wait for me on the square. After the gathering, I'll come talk to you. I have some things to ask you. Luo Qinghe quickly said, Pill Divine Yi, each race can bring 2 members of their race to the gathering. If Pill Divine Yi is alone, I'm willing to go with Pill Divine Yi. Yi Mo was very happy with Luo Qinghe's words. Clearly, he wasn't scared of dying. Okay, then come with me. Yi Mo immediately agreed. Brother Yi, I'm willing to come too. Another female voice sounded. Wang Nanshuang had come up to them. There was Ji Shi and 2 other women behind her. Wang Nanshuang was from the immortal goddess sacred sect, but in Yi Mo's impression, she was a good person. However, there was no need for her to join the gathering. Even though she was Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, her power was far weaker than Luo Qinghe. No need. Yi Mo was blunt. Wang Nanshuang was desperate and quickly said, Brother Yi, now's not the time for personal conflicts. I know Brother Yi has bad views of the immortal goddess sacred sect, but if there's the chance to contribute to the human race, the immortal goddess sacred sect will not fall behind. Since I said that I will be joining this gathering, then I won't retreat no matter how hard it is. At most, it's just death. Plus, other races have 3 people going. If we only have 2, it won't seem good. Yi Mo thought for a moment and said, You're right, then let's go together. Brother Yi, I'll go with you too. Dongan came over too. Yi Mo smiled. Each race is only allowed to have 3 in total going. We already have 3 now. Just wait outside for our good news. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2167, That's Because I Haven't Come Yi. Chapter 2167, That's Because I Haven't Come Yi when Yi Mo brought Luo Qinghe and Wang Nanshuang into the palace. There were already nearly 100 people sitting inside. The seats were clearly divided into groups of 3, clearly representing a power or race. The seats were also placed that one was slightly in front and 2 slightly behind. Yi Mo studied this palace. This place was very spacious. One couldn't even see the top of the palace. Yi Mo knew this was due to formation. There was also a nearly 60 m in diameter stand at the center of the palace. The restrictions around it was no weaker than the restrictions on the God rank square stage. Yi Mo knew this was also another battle stage. This stage was probably for battle when 2 parties disagreed between distribution. There was a dark red aura around the border of the stage. Countless divine emperors have died here. Come sit here, Pill Divine Yi. Xing Hong saw Yi Mo and quickly greeted. Brother Xing, you're here too? Yi Mo said. Xing Hong came back. He wasn't sitting on the main seat. The divine emperor sitting on the main seat had much stronger qi than Xing Hong. Xing Hong smiled. Of course. I'm representing the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. We have the right to compete for spots. Human race is participating too this time? People were immediately shocked upon seeing Yi Mo and them come in. 3 Tao Actualization Divine Emperors coming to this Tao Fruit Distribution Gathering. What is this? Are they here to prove they have courage? Discussions went on non-stop but no one came looking for their trouble, probably because seeing Yi Mo greet Xing Hong. Luo Qinghe didn't know that Yi Mo knew Xing Hong. He admired Yi Mo even more. Who haven't heard of Xing Hong's name in the Void Marketplace? The three didn't sit for long, and tens more people came into the palace. In total, there was about 130 people in the palace. This meant that there was nearly 50 powers or races here. The last to enter was a gray, robed divine emperor. He looked ordinary, and his chi was much weaker than the rest of the divine emperors here, but Yi Mo could tell this person was a halfway primordial essence, a very powerful halfway primordial essence. He walked to the top seat of the palace and saluted with his fist, saying, "Welcome, immortal friends of all the realms and races, to the Void Marketplace Spot Distribution Gathering. Many divine emperors here know me, and of course there are some new divine emperors who haven't heard of me. I'll introduce myself. I'm from the Void Marketplace. My divine name is Kong Han. This time, Tian Rui Divine Emperor and I will be impartial in conducting this distribution." When Kong Han finished, an ordinary-looking old man suddenly appeared next to him. He looked even weaker than Kong Han Divine Emperor, but some divine emperors realized that this ordinary old man was even stronger than Kong Han. Yi Mo knew this was another halfway primordial essence. This old man said, "I'm Tian Rui. Now let the gathering begin." Tian Rui then shut his eyes as though everything else had nothing to do with him. Kong Han Divine Emperor smiled. "What's worth mentioning is that this time there is the human race and shadow race," Kong Han continued, "because many of the god-ranked divine emperors couldn't come back to the Void Marketplace in time, and some races not coming. There's an extra 193 spots on the Dao Fruit Tower." Yi Mo heard this and was shocked. He didn't expect there would be this many Dao Fruit Tower spots. There's 46 seats to be distributed. According to the old rules, these spots will be shared evenly. Does anyone object? Kong Han said and looked at the people. Kong Han meant seats that were at the front. This meant that there was 46 races of powers to be represented. We're fine. The representatives of different races said. Yi Mo was dazed. Was the gathering this simple? All the spots were shared evenly and no one objected? Plus, there were 46 powers. The 193 spots can't be divided evenly. Why did no one say anything? After waiting for a while and no one said anything, Yi Mo said something. "Kong Han Divine Emperor Master, I object." Yi Mo got up and saluted with his fists. Almost everyone looked at Yi Mo. Object to what now? Why would you object to Kong Han Divine Emperor? Fool! That demon Dao essence sneered at Yi Mo. Kong Han Divine Emperor was very shocked that a Dao actualization Divine Emperor dared to object in this. He looked at Yi Mo with interest. "You're the representative for the human race, right? What objections do you have?" Yi Mo said loudly, "This is my first time coming to the gathering, so I want to ask, does the 193 spots include the 30 spots the human race deserves?" Kong Han said yes. The human race didn't come to this gathering multiple times, so these 30 spots were considered extra ones. Kong Han Divine Emperor Master, would the spots of other races be considered extra? If other races don't share their spots evenly but just the human race has to, then how is this fair? Yi Mo said. Kong Han Divine Emperor dazed. There were human representatives before, but they didn't make the same request as Yi Mo and didn't dare to bring up the human race had 30. Yet this Dao actualization Divine Emperor dared to make such request. Ha ha ha! Yi Mo's words made the palace erupt into laughter. Even Xing Hong looked down. Luo Qinghe and Wang Nanshuang were dazed. They came here with Yi Mo so the human race wouldn't keep declining. They were ready to die, but they weren't ready for Yi Mo making such terrifying claims. They just wanted to get 1 or 2 spots and then leave. Yet Yi Mo asked for the 30 spots the human race had before. Kong Han Divine Emperor didn't laugh and pressed with his hand for the laughter to stop. Then he looked at Yemo and said, but there were past representatives who didn't make this claim. After all, it's been too long since the human race quit the gathering. Kong Han, divine emperor, sighed. He liked Yemo's courage, so he wanted to tell Yemo inadvertently that even if he took all 193 spots now and people agreed, it was useless, as this was only the first step to the distribution. The second and third was the most important. No one cared how many spots people got at the first step. That's because I didn't come. If I came, I would have long made such request. Yemo said, human representative wants to take back the 30 spots that belong to them. Does anyone object? Kong Han heard this and just asked everyone, if you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2168, Spot Distribution. Chapter 2168, Spot Distribution. Gong Xiang immediately got up and said, we have no objections, of course. The 30 spots of the human race belongs to them. Of course, since the human race hasn't been to the gathering for so long, their 30 spots can only be treated as extra spots to be given to them. The next time, it can be considered their permanent spots. Gong Xiang's words were completely reasonable, and it seemed he was even thinking for the human race. Yemo completely understood what was going on. Giving the spots to him as extra spots meant that it could be robbed through challenges. Permanent spots were permanent. People didn't have a right to challenge and take it. The more extra spots he took here, the more challenges he would have to accept. That meant the more chances he would get killed. Kong Han, divine emperor, looked at everyone. What does everyone think of a mortal friend's Gong suggestion? All the races approved immediately. Kong Han, divine emperor, looked at Yemo with a strange glance. Now that everyone agreed to let you take back the 30 spots, do you have any other requests? Hearing this, Yemo could tell this Kong Han was completely neutral and saluted with his fists. Thank you, Kong Han, divine emperor. I'll only take back what's mine. Okay, then in that case, there's 163 spots remaining for even distribution. Everyone will get 3 spots, but the 4th round isn't enough for everyone. Wherever the distribution stops, that's it. This meant that those sitting at the front could get 4 spots, and those sitting at the back could only get 3. People already knew this rule here. Those who didn't want too many spots sat at the back. Pil Divine Yi, I don't think it's good that we asked for 30 spots. Luo Qinghe said quietly. Yemo didn't mind. We need to take back what belongs to us. What doesn't belong to us, we don't need to fight for it. Kong Han, divine emperor, acted like Tianrui, divine emperor, and said nothing after the first round finished. It was as though the two just came to watch the show. Yemo was sitting at the front, so the human race got 34 spots altogether. Then he saw the numbers floating above each race, represented that the spots for the Dao Fruit Tower they got. The God race is willing to give 2 spots to the Abyssal race and 1 to the Aquarius race. A blue-faced divine emperor immediately got up. Abyssal race accepts. A bleak divine emperor got up and said, Yemo noticed this guy before as he was the representative for the Abyssal race. Yemo planned to talk to him after the gathering. Then, the number above them changed to 6 from 4. Aquarius race agrees. An Aquarius race divine emperor got up and the number from the God race disappeared. So this is transfer of spots. Wang Nanchuang said, this way, weak races could give spots to powerful races. Earth Elf race is willing to give spot to Dragon race. Dragon race accepts. Blood race is willing to transfer spot to Demon race. Some were transferring spots, some were accepting spots. Yemo and them stayed silent. If they weren't afraid that their permanent spots would be taken, Many races definitely wouldn't come here. Dragon race, Phoenix race, they were so powerful that they left the monster race and became their own race. Even here, they had their own spots. Yemo didn't get up. He didn't plan to give his spots away, nor ask for spots. This round soon ended. Yemo noticed that it was powerful races accepting spots, for example. The Beast race, Demon race, Abyssal race, Dragon race, Aquarius race, the ones giving spots were weaker ones such as Bug race, Earth DF race, Shadow race. There are small portions of races who didn't give nor accept races. Powerful races like the Demon race had accepted more than 20 spots. Even Abyssal race and Aquarius race got more than 10. Then, everyone set their gazes on Yemo. The 34 spots was a huge piece of meat. To everyone, it was just temporarily placed with Yemo. Now it was time to split it. Demon race, Tao Essence, Divine, Emperor Gongxiang immediately stood out and landed on the round stage. He saluted with his fists to Kong Han and Tian Rui before saying, Yemo, the demon race will take 5 of the human race spots. If the human race don't agree, then Gongxiang will represent the demon race to challenge human race Divine Emperor. Pill Divine Yao Go. Luo Qinghe knew it was suicide, but it was worse than death for him to be timid. Plus, Yemo offended Gongxiang due to him, and that's why Gongxiang challenged first. Yemo patted Luo Qinghe's shoulder, signaling him not to do. Then, Xing Hong's voice sounded by his ear. Pill Divine, give the spot to him, and he has no reason to challenge. Yemo nodded to Xing Hong in gratitude and walked up to the stage and saluted with his fists to the 2 half-primordial essence divine emperors. The human race shall take 5 of the demon race's spots. If the demon race don't agree, then I, Yemo, shall represent the human race to challenge demon race divine emperor. The gathering had been very serious ever since the 2 half-primordial essences came out, but now, due to Yemo's words, it became noisy. Just what balls did this human Tao actualization divine emperor eat? Was he worried that he wouldn't die a pitiful enough death? Why did he try to infuriate the demon Tao essence like this? Even Tian Rui suddenly opened his eyes and looked at Yemo. He didn't understand. Courage was necessary, but it wasn't worth to die for it like this. This was being stupid. Kong Han Divine Emperor's eyes flashed with surprise. Then he said calmly, Okay, now, the demon race Divine Emperor Gongxiang will battle human race Divine Emperor Yemo. The losing side will give out 5 spots. As soon as he said this, the restrictions of the stage had been opened. Gongxiang's blood qi filled the entire stage, mixing with his Tao essence Divine Emperor. It was as though this stage would become his own realm. He was certain that Yemo would barely be able to move, much less fight him. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2169 Power of Z Su. Chapter 2169 Power of Z Su. Even so, he didn't want Yemo to die easily. He released his magic artifact, Demon Bloodblade. A blood mark that crossed space came above Yemo's head. He was going to destroy Yemo's body as quickly as possible and then capture his essence spirit and torture him slowly. How dare a Tao actualization divine emperor be this cocky to him? Yemo felt this blood realm and knew that Gongxiang was weaker than the demon Tao essence divine emperor he killed before. He didn't need Z Su to kill him, but Yemo didn't plan to not use Z Su. Hiding his strength here wasn't good. He was going to kill Gongxiang with lightning speed and shock everyone. Otherwise, he might face endless challenges today. He didn't fear these challenges, but every time he killed someone, he would offend that power. Yemo didn't want to offend too many. Yemo's domain suddenly burst out. His domain was beginning to form a realm too. It made Gong Xiang's realm crumble rapidly. Yi Mo even stacked on top his powerful spirit sense realm. Gong Xiang's blood realm was instantly pulverized. The blood qi circulated around and blew out like feathers. The next moment, Gong Xiang felt the space between him and Yi Mo freeze. The instant he felt this, he knew that he had underestimated Yi Mo. This was ice space god art. It can only be used with certain level of space law and ice law knowledge. Gong Xiang's knowledge of space law was inadequate, and his space law god art couldn't even materialize. The demon blood blade immediately stopped. Yi Mo wasn't affected at all by his blood realm, and the moment space froze, a purple sword ray was hacked out. Gong Xiang broke free from ice space instantly, and just when he wanted to seal this purple sword ray, he found that this sword ray carried a vast and extreme lethal force pressure that drew away all the surrounding lethal force. This wasn't just sword domain lethal force, but also world lethal force. Yi Mo didn't even use a god art on this strike. It was just an ordinary swing with a broken ice space god art. Ice space was broken, but it still affected Gong Xiang. However, what killed Gong Xiang wasn't ice space, but this sword, primordial spirit artifact. Gong Xiang looked at the purple sword ray slice over his body in despair and called out. Such dominating primordial lethal force. What else could it be other than the best primordial spirit artifact? The insect in his eyes instantly killed him in a duel with him. As soon as Gong Xiang's essence, spirit, came out, it was grinded by Yi Mo's purple sword ray and disappeared. The blood qi disappeared and a demon blood blade fell on the ground. Zi Su returned to its ordinary look and was put into storage ring by Yi Mo. Yi Mo waved up the demon blood blade and a storage ring and walked off the stage. He was quite shocked and happy. He knew his powers had increased a few levels, but only now did he realize to what extent. Zi Su was an important factor, but Yi Mo was certain that without Zi Su, he could still kill Gong Xiang. When Yi Mo killed Gong Xiang and walked out of the stage, the entire palace was silent. Then the palace erupted in noises. Everyone looked at Yi Mo with different eyes. Even the two halfway primordial essence looked at Yi Mo strangely. It was simple for them to kill a Tao Essence Divine Emperor, but a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor killing a Tao Essence Divine Emperor this easily was too astounding. There were Tao Actualization Divine Emperors who killed Tao Essence Divine Emperor in the Void Marketplace, but it was too rare. They were absurdly talented, and even that they would need to have an intense battle to kill a Tao Essence Divine Emperor. But what was Yi Mo? He was a Tao Actualization primary stage, and he could kill a Tao Essence Divine Emperor this easily. This was too scary. This battle is won by human race Yi Mo demon race. Give 5 spots to the human race. When Yi Mo went back to his seat, Kong Han finally announced the results. Luo Qinghe and Wang Nanshuang also waited till Yi Mo came back to his seat before getting up in surprise and joy. Pill Divine Yi, you actually won, and this easily too? Luo Qinghe still didn't believe this was real. Wang Nanshuang knew how absurd Yi Mo was. He could kill Tao Actualization Divine Emperor when he was only Tao Molding Divine Emperor. Now that he was Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, it wasn't impossible for him to kill Tao Essence Divine Emperor. The only thing she didn't expect was it to be this easy. But to them, the stronger Yi Mo was the better. The other 2 demon Tao Essence Divine Emperor still didn't believe their Tao Essence Demon Divine would be killed by a human Tao Actualization, especially instant killed. Gong Xiang represented the demon race, but he wasn't the leader. The Tao Essence Demon Divine sitting next to him got up and stared at Yi Mo with killing intent. Just when he wanted to speak, he was pushed down by the Demon Divine sitting in front. You're no match for him. His ordinary purple sword is probably a primordial spirit artifact. I'll see the attitude of other races. If no one attacks, I will. The Demon Divine calmed down. He knew he was no match for Yi Mo, But he couldn't just take it that a demon Tao essence was killed by a human Tao actualization. When Yi Mo sat down, the number above his head went from 34 to 39. Many people recognized that Yi Mo's Zi Su was a primordial spirit artifact. There was limited numbers of primordial spirit artifact in the universe. People knew almost 99% of them, but they had never seen Yi Mo's purple sword. When many people were watching Yi Mo, a powerful spirit sense scanned at Yi Mo too. This spirit sense seemed to want to ambush Yi Mo's sea of consciousness. Yi Mo immediately used spirit sense 9 transformations and released a spirit sense net, grinding the spirit sense to nothing. However, Yi Mo couldn't find the owner of the spirit sense. The serious silence didn't last for long when a Tao essence drenched in water came up and screeched, "Aquarius race Sentai will take 1 spot of the winged race. If you don't agree, then come up." Yi Mo looked at the 3 from the winged race. They were all Tao essence divine emperor, but Yi Mo could tell none of them could beat Sentai. It also seemed that they were more adept at fighting in spacious areas, not small confinements. The winged race got up and said, "Winged race don't want to fight, take the spot." Winged race now already gave out 3 spots, but now their last spot was taken. Aquarius race was probably annoyed that they didn't get one of the 3 spots. There were other divine emperors challenging each other, but no one challenged Yi Mo. Yi Mo didn't plan to challenge anyone else. Abyssal race want 5 human race spots. If the human race don't agree, come up and challenge me, Zhongli Huin. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.